meeting will please come to order. We will have opening prayer by Akira Grenardo.
Heavenly Father, we have assembled to handle the affairs of our city. As we do so, we ask for your guidance and understanding. We pray that our city reaches a place of peace and safety. Keep us out of harm's way and bless those who are in authority. Let respect be key in all our endeavors. Amen.
At this time, the Pledge of Allegiance will be recited. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
to the
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The clerk will call the roll.
Councilwoman Gray,
Present.
Councilwoman Darby,
Present.
Councilwoman Oliver,
Present.
Councilwoman Harley,
Present.
Councilwoman Fields, Councilwoman Fields, Councilwoman McCoy,
Here,
Councilman Johnson,
Here.
Councilman Field,
Here.
Councilwoman Cabrera,
Present.
Councilwoman Dixon,
Present.
Councilman Spadola,
Here.
Councilwoman Walsh, Councilwoman Walsh,
Here.
President Congo.
Here.
12 present and 1 absent.
Reading of the minutes of the previous meeting.
For December 10, 2020, City Council met on virtual regular session, the above date at 6:30 p.m. President Hanifa Shabazz presiding. The opening prayer was done by Angela Queen, Deputy Clerk. The Pledge of Allegiance was recited by City Council.
make a motion that be,
We need a motion to accept.
Motion to accept.
Second. Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the minutes be accepted as written. On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
That's for January, the next one is for January 5th, 2021. The virtual meeting was called to order by President Ernest Trippy Congo II at 8 p.m. The invocation was given by Bishop Aretha E. Morton. The national anthem was sung by Asura Ortega. The Pledge of Allegiance was recited. At this time, the Honorable Judge Arlene Coppage was recognized as being present.
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded that the minutes be accepted as written. On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. I'd like to also recognize Councilwoman Oliver. City Treasurer report.
I said I was present.
Yes.
City Treasurer's report.
Thank you. January 21, 2021. Total investment, $448,816,470.05. Total cash on hand, $15,769,756.52. Grand total, $464,586,226.57. Dwayne Sims, City Treasurer.
Council President, at this time, I would like to move for the treasurer's report to be filed as recorded. As
Second. Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the report be received, recorded, filed. On the question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. I'll accept the motion to move to all non-legislative business.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to accept all non-legislative business. On the question, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We do,
President Congo,
yes.
I'm sorry. I heard Maribel say someone was absent. You thought it was me. Somebody else that needs to say they're here or something because it wasn't me. So somebody.
It's me. I'm here. Councilwoman Fields. I'm here.
Okay, just like
I
to
just had
recognize-
difficulties with my link. So
Thank
can
you,
I please be recognized? Thank
Yes,
you.
please recognize.
So noted.
Thank you. We do have several pieces of non-legislative business. We're going to start with Councilwoman Darby. Councilwoman Darby, do you have any non-legislative business, any recognitions?
Oh, yes. I thought we were going in order. I thought we were going to start with the United States President's president. Yes, I have a non-legislative ordinance to recognize 6 organizations for National Mentorship Month. I am going to, I guess I read the legislation at this time, right?
Yes.
All right. Whereas Wilmington City Council wishes to recognize the month of January as National Mentorship Month, which is a time to focus on the importance of mentoring and the positive impact that it has on our youth. And whereas January 2021 will mark the 19th anniversary of National Mentoring Month and an annual campaign to focus attention on the need for mentors, as well as how each of us can work together to increase the number of mentors to help ensure positive outcomes for our young people. And whereas Wilmington City Council honors volunteer mentors who support young people by showing up for them every day and demonstrating their commitment to helping them thrive. And whereas mentoring programs like Game Changers with DeBar McGriff, One Village Alliance with Chandra Pitts, No Limit Football Team with Carrie Galloway, I Am My Sister's Keeper with Miss Charlotte Miller Lace, and Network Connect with Sierra Hall Hipkins and Aaron Hutt, and Ascending Queens with Lillian Oliver. These organizations have made our communities and our state stronger by driving impactful relationships that increase social capital for young people and provide invaluable supports and networks. Whereas during the COVID-19 pandemic, mentoring programs have stepped up to fill gaps for young people and families, connecting them with resources and ensuring that mentoring relationships continue virtually to ensure that physical distancing does not mean social disconnection. And whereas mentoring plays a pivotal role in career exploration and supports workplace skills by helping young people set career goals, equipping mentors with the skills needed to support the professional growth of young people, and drives positive outcomes for young people and businesses. Whereas quality mentoring provides healthy relationships and communications, positive self-esteem, emotional well-being, and a growth of a young person in their relationships with other adults. And whereas students who meet regularly with their mentors are more than 52% less likely than their peers to skip a day of school, and youth who face the opportunity gap but have a mentor are 55% more likely to be enrolled in college than those who do not have a mentor. And whereas youth who meet regularly with their mentors are 46% less likely than their peers to start using drugs and 27% less likely to start drinking. And whereas almost half of today's young adults report having a mentor in their youth, and those rates appear to have been rising steadily over the past several decades. And whereas National Mentoring Month is the time of the year to celebrate, elevate, and encourage mentoring across our state and recruiting caring adult mentors in our great city of Wilmington. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the City of Wilmington that Wilmington City Council recognizes January 2021 as National Mentoring Month in Wilmington, Delaware, and acknowledges, again, Game Changers, One Village Alliance, No Limit Football Team, I Am My Sister's Keeper, Network Connect, and Ascending Queens for their outstanding service and dedication to our youth and community. So that was it for the reading part, President.
Okay, thank you, Councilwoman Darby. Is there anyone here that wants to speak to your recognitions? Anyone here from any of those organizations?
Good evening. This is Charlotte Miller-Lacey, and I am the founder and National Executive Director for I Am My Sister's Keeper. On behalf of Melody Phillips, our chairwoman, and the 6th District of Wilmington, Delaware, we are so honored to receive this recognition. We have been working diligently to continue to bring mentoring to the young girls who need it in the state of Delaware. So we are happy and excited for this recognition. And I want to thank Councilwoman Darby for recognizing us tonight. We truly appreciate it. And that comes from the girls as well as our board members. I want to read you something real quick that I received on January the 16th. And it was an anonymous email. And what it said was, "Can I join your sister group?" And I typed back, "Who are you?" And she said, "My name is Tiana. I know a friend from your group and her name is Janaya." "Hello, Tiana. How old are you? What school are you from? I wanted to let you know that our registration is closed, but tell me why I should say yes, and are you willing to catch up?" And her response was, "I am a big leader to my friends and my little brother. I go to Kahuma Academy Charter School. You should say yes to me because I am willing to show my leadership to others in life, and I am willing to catch up. I love the pink shirts. I see what you're doing, and I so want to be a part." My response to her was, "Tiana, thank you for your response. You sold me. As soon as you can set up a Zoom meeting with your mom or your parents and I, you will become a part of I Am My Sister's Keeper." This is why we continue to do what we do in the city of Wilmington, in the state of Delaware, also in Chester. And we just launched a new program in Dover. So we launched in Dover. So we are excited. We have a chapter in Atlanta, a chapter in Clinton, Maryland, and a chapter in Chester. But our headquarters is in Wilmington, Delaware, where we originally started 5 years ago. I want to thank all of City Council for your support and everything that you have put forth to help I Am My Sister grow the way we have. I thank you very much.
No, thank you for all the work that you're doing for our young ladies throughout the state and here in the city of Wilmington. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Ms. Charlotte.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dubarman Griff. I'm the president and founder of Game Changers. Thank you, Councilwoman Darby and City Council for recognizing you know, the individuals on here. Congratulations to everyone else. You know, I never even knew, you know, acknowledge how much of an impact that, you know, we had as an organization on the youth in Wilmington until the pandemic. And, you know, they were asking to come and things like that, which made the facilitators and myself go harder, you know. So I really appreciate this. We love doing the work. You know, really want to reach out to more kids and get them involved because, you know, it's no school at the time and these teenagers just need things to do and people to relate to. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Dubar, for all the work you're doing for the city of Wilmington, for our children, for our youth. Thank you again, Dubar.
And I just want to, I think Councilwoman Oliver has her hand raised. So I want to allow her to say a few words.
Yeah, Mr. President, I'm gonna wait till everybody say, I was gonna wait till after everybody did their presentation, so I don't cut in. I'm okay.
Councilwoman McCord, did you want to wait?
I was basically going to say the exact same.
Okay, all right.
Good evening. I guess I go next. I start by thanking God. He's the head of my household because without him, this couldn't have been possible. I want to thank my family for always supporting and believing in me. I want to thank my tribe, my team, and my queens. Y'all know who y'all are. I'm standing in the gaps to receive the award for us. I want to thank 2nd District Sinead Darby for this initiative and the 108 session of City Council for honoring and recognizing Ascending Queens for National Mentorship Month. Ascending Generation provide at-risk youth and families the necessary tools needed to create and sustain a valuable livelihood, career, and educational opportunities. And under this entity, Ascending Queens was born. This mentorship program was dedicated to empowering youth girls through education, self-esteem, etiquette, culture, and community involvement, as well as college readiness programs. With the help of City Council, our community members, and other grassroots organizations, we have been able to serve over 1,000 children and families within the last 7 years. We are currently preparing for our Valentine's Day self-care event. And if you want to learn more information about Ascending Queens, please reach out to us at ascendingqueens@gmail.com. But I want to thank you, City Council, because from Trippy to Shanae to Miss Michelle to Councilwoman Oliver, and I can go on and on, y'all help me help our next generation. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Darby.
No, thank you again, Lillian. You have been doing great work in the city of Wilmington from the first day I met you.
Thank
at
you.
At Wilmington Job Corps Center, helping the young people there.
Could you tell him we're the young folk?
Is somebody asleep on this phone? What is going on? Who is snoring?
I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I was interrupting someone. Continue.
Ms. Pitts, did you want to say any words?
Yes. So I had left a message in the chat that I was just wrapping up actually a mentoring event for Raising Kings. So I'm just stepping out of there, but I really want to thank Councilwoman Sinead Darby, all the council people who supported this resolution for us. Special thanks to you, City Council President Congo. Sinead Darby is my councilwoman, so I'm really thankful to you. And again, just all the council persons who supported us. We're in the midst of Raising Kings Week, as you may all know. Very important initiative. This is 9 years in a row, and just stepped out of a mentoring event with Judge Chapman, with some all Black female attorneys, African-American law enforcement officers. And it's really important, especially in this time in our nation's history. The mentoring session tonight was about how students can safely engage in this climate of political activism. We've always really look to our youth to lead justice movements. I can think back to the Children's March of the 60s, all of the phenomenal historic things that happened right here in the city of Wilmington all throughout history and continues to happen today with all of your leadership, with the work that we're doing. Congratulations to all of my colleagues. I've worked with every one of you in one form or another. One of my mentors, Miss Charlotte Lacey, is on the phone, is on the Zoom with us. So congratulations to you. I want to just remind you all of how important intergenerational mentoring is, that it truly does take a whole village, and we need you. We need each other. We're looking to you, City Council, to work together in unity, mentor each other, provide each other with that united front and that true, genuine support. I need it from each of you to and from each of the mentoring organizations. I really look forward to our continued work together. I'm happy to say that many of us are working together already. So again, special thanks to you, Councilwoman Shanae Darby, for this resolution, and to all of you as a united council. I look forward to great work together here to save the lives and to empower our youth and our families. So thank you all so much.
And again, thank you, Chandra. And when I had to think of organizations or people to honor this month, you were one of the first people or organizations I can think of. You're doing great, impactful work for the Black community, but as a whole, for the whole city of Wilmington and for our kings and our, so I had to recognize you in the work that you were doing. So thank you for what you're doing from the City Council.
Thank you. I'm so honored to continue to live the legacy, and it's not too late. If you need a mentor or if you want to mentor, IamTheVillage.org. I thank you again, Councilwoman Shanae.
Okay, I think next would be No Limit football team. I think is Coach Carey here. And then Sierra and Aaron from Network Connect.
Thank you, Councilwoman Darby. I want to say first, thank you for allowing us to be a part of the resolution tonight. I speak on behalf of Aaron and I when I send my thanks to you and all the other council members present tonight. You all have, like Chandra mentioned, you all have played a big role in who we are as an organization today. We've grown tremendously during the pandemic and been able to impact so many youth during this time of need. We have several different programs, workforce development program called Future Culture Creators. Shout out creators. We have a Safe Haven program where we bring fun things to neighborhoods. We have a Race to Wellness campaign where we provide mental wellness kits to kids in our city, tangible coping mechanisms that they can use. We give about 75 boxes out a month. We've partnered with several of the people who are being honored tonight. So I just want to shout out our servant leaders. It is nothing we can do without each other. We are a village and we often lean on one another. Hey, Queen, I appreciate you. And I want to thank real quick, my mother. I know she's on here somewhere tonight, and my grandmother, who you see in the picture behind me. Without her, there is no me, and it is their servant leadership and their dedication to my Savior, Jesus Christ, which helps me to be the leader that I am today. Shout out to all the youth who make this possible, because without them, there is no us, there are no organizations. And I just want to say, I hope that I have so much hope, like you started, Ms. Harley, Councilwoman Harley, so much hope about the future after yesterday's inauguration. But I've always had tremendous hope about Wilmington, Delaware. We are a special place. We are a first state for a reason. And I believe that we have the opportunity, and we've always had it, to change the climate when it talks about, as it relates to Black and Brown youth in our city. And I think that we are just so much closer. And I'm excited about Trippy being at the head, because I think we have some work to do, and I know that he's dedicated to it. So I'm excited to see you guys work in unity. I thank you, and I can't say thank you enough, Shanae. And just continue to keep us in mind. If you're looking to see what we're doing, you can join or log on to Facebook, social media at networkconnect.org, or you can, networkconnect.org on Facebook and social media, but you can also go to networkconnect.com to get updates about a future initiative, the Community Wellbeing Initiative. So I thank you again, and I'll be quiet. I appreciate all your service to council. So thank you.
Again, thank you, Sierra. And I know Aaron is somewhere close or doing the work. You guys are amazing. How you guys have touched our teenagers and the work that you guys are doing. I just look up to you guys, the work that you're doing. And I want to say thank you. And the next person is Coach Carey. His name is Carey Galloway. I think he's having problems unmuting. I don't know if we can try to unmute him.
I think I'm unmuted now.
Oh, okay. All right, Coach.
I apologize. This is Coach Carey Galloway, senior from No Limit Mentoring Empowerment Youth Program, where we do football, wrestling, and basketball. I just want to thank everybody for having us on and recognizing us. Just thank you for everything you're doing for Wilmington, Delaware. We're just trying to make a positive impact ourselves as far as youth goes.
Well, yes, thank you, Coach Carey. I knew Coach Carey as a young person, and he entered into my cousin's life, and I know he entered into a lot of other young men's lives or young boys' lives throughout the city of Wilmington. It has been impactful and a game changer for a lot of young men, a lot of young boys throughout the city of Wilmington, and how he worked with my cousin and all the other young boys. I was watching, and you probably didn't know I was watching, but I was watching it. I saw your impact, and I just appreciate everything that you do, Coach.
Likewise, I appreciate you, and I'm proud of everything you're doing as a young Black woman. So I just appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So that will be it for the mentorship, Council President.
Okay, all right, thank you. Before I give comments, I'm going to recognize Councilwoman Oliver. I think she still has her hand raised to give some remarks.
Yes, definitely. First of all, I want to thank the Councilwoman for acknowledging a lot of the groups that have been acknowledged before and are continuing to work hard in our community. It's never enough acknowledgments for groups such as these. Like I said, I'm familiar with all of them. Darby, I've worked with him. Leo, Sisters Keeper, Cassandra does a great job. Sierra, I call Aaron a lot of times when I'm looking for some youth. She helps me out a lot down Stubbs. Coach is always sending me messages about kids. So, I mean, this was a very nice group of people, and they all deserve it. So congratulations to all of them. That would be all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman McCoy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Actually, I just wanted to thank Councilwoman Darby for making certain that she acknowledged all these great people here within the city. You know, some of these names we are familiar with because just getting into dealing with the community, I already heard of Ms. Pitts and One Village Alliance and things of that nature. But because of the passion that people have for what's going on with our young people in the city, you know, we see these passion projects actually change into they come to fruition. You know, the Ascending Queens and Network Connect. These people, these are things that are on their heart, and they feel that it's more than just something that they'll do in the middle of the weekend or something. This is an ongoing thing, and our children really need it. And I just want to thank them. I thank them so much for making certain that they did not go on hiatus when the pandemic arose. That they made certain that they stuck it out, and they really were here for our children. So I just thank you all.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman McCoy. Councilwoman Harley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I basically want to just echo the sentiments of my other council member colleagues as it relates to congratulating each and every one of these awesome women and men that are making contributions in the community, and how they are really, truly making a difference with our youth and our young adults. And it has already been stated in terms of the pandemic, the climate that we're living in right now and what we all are dealing with. I'm very grateful that our youth and young adults do have a safe haven, and they are being exposed to great leadership. And that's very, very important. Not just having a place to go, but to have a place where there is great leadership and a good environment. So again, congratulations to each one of you. As Council Member Oliver, Xanthia Oliver has mentioned, we have tried to always acknowledge many of these awesome organizations, but you really can't thank them enough for what they're doing, and especially for what a lot of our youth and young adults are going through on today. So again, thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Harvey. Councilwoman Fields.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you, Councilwoman Darby, for definitely recognizing these wonderful organizations. I haven't had the opportunity to work with them all, but I would definitely, welcome the opportunity to bring them to over here to my district. But I would like to say I had the opportunity to talk with Lillian. I've had the opportunity to work with Miss Sierra and Aaron. So, their I think it's their race box. It's exceptional, and it was I like the box, and I just hope everybody else gets a chance to see exactly what the box contains. I had to hide mine from my 13-year-old because she was trying to get into mine. Miss Sierra used to be a teacher of my youngest daughter, so I know where her heart is, and I just deplore each one of these organizations to keep it going. And any way that we at City Council can help you, please don't hesitate to reach out. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you. And like they said, you can always get recognized. I think all the good work you're doing, I hope it continues and it blows up. I hope that other cities and other states begin to follow what we're doing right here in the city of Wilmington. Thank you.
Mr.
Thank you,
President?
Councilwoman Fields. Yes.
I'm sorry, I just have one more thing to say. I tried to make certain that I didn't say I am my sister's keepers first because I didn't want to play favorites. And then I actually missed over it altogether. But I always have to make certain that I point out that Charlotte Miller Lacey has taught me more about mentorship than probably any of the other the programs that were listed, because of the fact that she's in my district and she's actually brought me in and really surrounded me with the young women, and basically the love that they have for each other and the love that these mentors have for these young ladies. So I was trying not to call her out first to show favoritism, and then I skipped her. So I do apologize, Miss Charlotte, but I just wanted to make certain I mentioned it.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman McCord. I just want to just echo the remarks of some of my colleagues, and first of all, just thank you, Councilwoman Darby, for setting the tone of this meeting. Mentorship is what we really need. That needs to be our ground zero. Once we realize the importance of mentorship and the importance of working together and reaching back and helping our children, the sky's the limit for the city of Wilmington. And the groups and the organizations that you recognize today have just done so much for our city. I've been able to participate in a lot of their events. So I just want to thank all of them. I think I know all of them personally. I know all of them personally, and they're doing such great work in the city. Can't really say enough about them. So thank you to all of you, and thank you again, Councilwoman Darby. I want to make sure that I have not missed any other council members who may want to give any remarks. If not, I think Councilwoman Darby, you have another.
Yes, I do have another one. This is this non-legislative business is recognizing lives lost due to gun violence in 2020. Whereas Wilmington City Council wishes to recognize the lives lost to gun violence in the city of Wilmington during 2020. And whereas many families have forever been impacted due to this senseless gun violence, such as children now without parents, mothers and fathers who lost a child or daughter, grandparents who have lost a grandchild, a sister or brother who has lost a sibling. And whereas during 2020, there were 30 lives lost to gun violence in the city of Wilmington, 2 in the 1st district, 2 in the 2nd district, 10 in the 3rd district, 6 in the 4th district, 1 in the 5th district, 5 in the 6th district, 3 in the 7th district, and 1 in the 8th district. And whereas, and I'm going to read the names of the 30 individuals because their lives matter. Michael Parker, Michael Reams, Eddie Green, Raekwon Davis, Tamir Dendy, Kayvon McGriff, Sharif Hamilton, Damar Matrice Smith, Calvin Peterson, Taquan Davis, Namer Brown Sullivan, Kyer Clark, Alaire Henry, Tehran Whaley, Khalil Amir Bey, Nazir Seth, Alexis Cumberbatch, Andre Hickson, Nakisha Richardson, Abel Revere, Francis Miller, Keith Evans, Jabbar Hunter, Jeremiah Redding, Janiyah Johnson, Orrin Daniels, Wade Hammond, Lamont Davis, Randolph White, and one unidentified man all lost their lives in 2020 due to gun violence. And whereas, dear family and friends, while we know that words cannot dilute your pain, we know that over time, the memories of time spent and conversations shared will match the sense of the loss of your loved one's presence that you feel now, as well as no words can provide comfort to the senseless act of gun violence that is perpetrating in our city. The City of Wilmington Police Department continues to make their best efforts to resolve these cases and to get guns off the street. And this is a very difficult time for your families. We join in the thoughts of the good times you had with your loved one, and council will be working legislatively to see what laws can be added or changed to help mitigate gun violence, as well as looking at the community and faith-based organizations to assist, as this is an epidemic. Now, therefore, it be resolved by the Council of the City of Wilmington that Wilmington City Council recognizes the 30 people whose lives were lost due to gun violence in the City of Wilmington during 2020. City Council wants these families to know that their lives have not gone unnoticed. That was it. And then we have this one was what Lynette Brooks. I don't know if Lynette is on.
I'm on.
And is Mia with you?
Mia's supposed to be on. I don't know if she logged in. Should I start now?
Yes, you can start.
Hello, good evening, City Council. First, I want to especially thank Councilwoman Darby for allowing me this opportunity. My name is Lanita Brooks. My son is Deshaun Sellers. He was 17 when he was murdered, February 16th, 2015 in broad daylight. Him and a friend of his leaving my home just a block from my house. The day is still so fresh in my head. At the same time, I still can't believe it hit home for me, and he's actually gone forever. I definitely know my son was no angel, but a death sentence for him shouldn't have been. The loss of my son, Poppy, has changed my life from the beginning, and still is hard for me to get my life back on track like before, mentally, physically, and emotionally draining. And if you never walked this journey, then you wouldn't understand. But when you are forced to go on with life and suffer this loss and have to watch your other 5 children, one being Poppy's twin, go through life without their brother, hurts me even more. Hurts me that I thought if danger came to Poppy, he could beat it, but no one beats death, not this time anyway. And I just want to acknowledge the other parents that have lost their children due to gun violence too. And it's just been life-changing for me because at the beginning, I tried to kill myself unsuccessfully. I lost weight at the beginning, like 20 pounds, still take medicine till this day for my appetite to keep it up. It's just changes. I'm at work. I mean, I can't focus. I have my days, my breakdown days. I just had one last week where I had to sit in my manager's office. I mean, his day's coming up really soon. So it's like, it's emotionally for me every day. And June 2018, I did start a support group, Mending Hearts. So we've been moving successfully. Mia, she's actually in the group, and I just wish that it would grow. And in the future, I just want to be a part of parents that either going through with their children or before the system even touches them, because it was too late for my son, but I don't want it to be too late for someone else's child. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynette. I really appreciate you telling your story, telling your son's story. I appreciate you. I know Mia is going to say some words too.
Hi, my name is Mia. My son, Carmel Enos, was shot September 2nd, 2017, 1:12 in the afternoon, Labor Day weekend, broad daylight, and nobody seemed to see a thing. He was hit 7 times. He succumbed to his injuries. And the thing about it is he got shot at 1:12. I didn't find out till 7:30 at night, only because the police had came to my daughter's house and wouldn't let her in her house, and he wouldn't tell her what was going on. But he told her, asked her, did she have a brother? And she was like, yeah. I was like, your mom, Mia. I was like, we need to speak to her. And she was like, well, I'll contact her. But I was at the hospital at the time with my youngest daughter, and he wouldn't let her in her apartment. So she called me. She was like, they won't let me in my apartment. I don't know what Kai did, but they won't let me in, and they want to talk to you. So I told them I was getting discharged, my daughter discharged from the hospital, and I'll be right there. 7:30, they brought me in the police station, asking me all these questions, but wouldn't come to telling me what happened to my son. So I just spoke there. I was like, is my son dead? And they was like, yes, he was shot numerous times. And I said, I want to see my son. Why? They was like, you can't see your son. I said, why can't I see my son? They was like, well, it doesn't work like that. I said, why I can't see my son? I was not able to see my son. So Friday night, when I seen my son, kissed him, as we always do every night, I wasn't able to see my son until the undertaker had him at the funeral home. That's when I was able to see my son. And so from that day, for 2 years, I was in total darkness until I happened to be on Facebook, and I came across Lanita Brooks' picture, and she was having something at her house. That was the only way. And I reached out to her because nobody knocked on my door. No officer came to me after that time at the police station to try to gather information. I've been trying to reach the detective. Like, I haven't told the detective in 5 months. I used to call almost every week to see if anything updated or whatever. It's just like my son doesn't exist because he's not here anymore. But I'm here to say that my son's life mattered. And I know plenty of people know what happened. last time I talked to Detective Jones, he said that they had a good case, but when he went toward the prosecutor said we need more. Now he got eyewitnesses. He got people that came and said they know who did it, they know how it was set up, but they keep hollering about they want more, they want more. So I don't know what more they want, because he keep telling me they have a good case, but it's still unsolved. Like it said, he was my only son. He was 20 years old when he died. I had 3 daughters. It has affected us tremendously. Like, I wish no parent had to walk in them shoes that lay your child to rest. Like, I got PTSD. Some days is better than others. Like, it's like I gotta take day by day, because I fall apart. I could be having a beautiful day and it just hit me, and there I have an anxiety attack that I can't control. Now, and then every day is somebody else getting murdered. I would not wish this on no parent, and something has to be done. But I just seem like it's not affecting the people that, if it's not affecting you, they don't care. But it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. My son was killed on the City of Wilmington, and I have no resolution whatsoever. Haven't talked to a prosecutor, nothing besides Devin Jones when I call him. I have nothing. And it doesn't make sense. It shouldn't be going on like this.
Okay. Thank you, Mia. I just want to say, I won't be quiet about this on the legislative end, on city council. I will do the best I can to support you and the powers that I have. As I'm entering city council, I'm making sure that gun violence is at the forefront thought of every single city council person. I will continue to bring it up. I will continue to try to figure out ways we can legislate this. I don't know what the answer is, because I'm very honest. I don't know what the answer is legislatively, but I'm willing to work with the community. I'm willing to work with my other city council peers to making sure that we put justice to your baby's name, because when we talk about Black Lives Matter, I'm talking about Black lives killed by police officers and Black lives when we kill each other, right? So how are we making a difference, and how can we do that? I'm here. That's all I have to say. I'm here to support you and Lynette in any way that I possibly can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Harley, did you have any remarks?
Yes, thank you, Council President. First of all, I just want to say thank you to Councilmember Darby for sponsoring the resolution as it relates to those that lives that was lost due to gun violence. Thank you for your energy that you're bringing to the 108th Council. However, I just wanted to say to those that are on the line, to the mothers, first of all, you have my condolence, and I will continue to pray for you. However, the 107th, in the early part of the first quarter of 2020, we actually met with the Attorney General, our mayor, and our chief of police, and the community as well. I just wanted to mention, because I know everybody don't get all of the information. So I just wanted to say that as a council, we are very concerned about the gun violence here in the city of Wilmington. And that was the reason why we asked the Attorney General, the chief of police, our mayor, and other elected officials to come together along with the community for us to talk about what can we do from both ends. Of course, we know elected officials, our chief of police, we all have a role, but we also need the community to help us work together, because a lot of the violence that goes on happens within the communities where people may know and have information. And so I just wanted those that are on the line to know that City Council definitely have been trying to do what we can do on our end. We have even started putting together legislation in the 107th Council. So it's not just starting, but more work can be done. And we all know that. And as long as we have unresolved cases. As long as we have the gun violence continuing, we know that there's more work to do. So again, I want to thank Councilmember Darby, but we also want you to know that we have been trying and working with other elected officials. And as you know, a lot of the gun laws are handled on the state level, but we can try to work as hard as we can to encourage and urge our state elected officials to move the needle as it relates to gun violence as well. So I just wanted to share that. And again, you're in my prayers. Thank you, Council President.
President, I can't raise my hand. I can't see that icon. Can I speak? Councilwoman Cabrera?
Yes, Councilwoman Cabrera, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry if I jumped in front of someone, but I can't find the hand to raise it. I just wanted to say, excellent resolution, Councilwoman Darby, and Lanita and Mia, again, my condolences. My heart truly does break. Lanita, I've walked with you. I've been there. We've gone to the site. Obviously, Poppy is one of those that you don't forget because you have been so active, but not just to find justice for yourself and for your son, but for all the other mothers that are out there like Mia that you were able to inspire. So I'm so happy to hear about your organization. Look forward to me being present and helping you any way that we can. I remember when you came to the meeting of the moms, I was trying to put something together for the mothers to support each other. And then, the council session ended, we moved on. And I'm glad you were able to put this group together. So I wish you the best and count on our support as a united council. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Oliver.
I just wanted to, with Councilwoman Harley said, and she couldn't have said it any better, because we all, as council members, have been really working with the AG's office, the police station. Councilwoman Harley, myself, has even participated with Pastor D in several walks. I mean, I know a lot of the parents who've lost ones, and my heart just goes out to you. But I'm not going to reiterate what she said, but she couldn't have said it any better. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Councilwoman Oliver. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any other council members who may want to comment, give remarks. If not, I will. Let's see, someone just raised your hand. Councilwoman Harley, did you want to say any more remarks? Okay. I do believe. Hold on one second.
She's muted, Harley.
She's muted.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was muted. Thank you, Council President. I just wanted to also say to those families that when we find out about the lives that are lost, we do our best to send resolutions as well. So I know I personally have requested sympathy resolutions as well as the other council members. So a lot of the families that experience loss, we make it our business. If we know about it, we try to reach out to the family, to get the resolutions. And some of us go as far as even donating financially. I know I do, and try to find out what I can do to even help those families within my district, or whoever lets me know about any lives lost. So I just wanted to mention that the resolutions have gone out to families that have loved ones that have lost their life, and we will continue to give them out to the family as well. Tonight, again, I thank Councilmember Darby for the overall, and even about 3 months or 4 months ago when Pastor D had the peace walk, we actually stood in prayer and in solidarity and called out every one of those same names that were called out tonight. So their names are being lifted up. Their names are on a lot of people's minds, and we're going to continue to lift them up. And we're going to continue to keep these families in prayer. Thank you.
And thank you, Councilwoman Harley. Ms. Brooks, is your hand raised? Did you have any further comments?
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't announce that. We did get justice for my son. I just did want to put that out there. But you all know when when you walking through these shoes, like justice is really no justice because we the ones got to go to the grave sites and talk to our kids there. And me personally, I don't even like the grave. I don't like going there because to me it's just not right. But I just wanted to let you guys know, yeah, Poppy did get justice, and it was the first gang that actually got indicted. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks. Again, I just want to thank Councilwoman Darby for bringing this resolution to the forefront in one of our very first meetings. This has to be at the top of our agenda. No matter how much development, no matter how much we try to improve our school districts, no matter how many businesses come and open up here in the city, as long as our children are still shooting and killing each other, it's all for naught. So this is absolutely going to be at the top of our agenda. I just want to thank Anita and Mia for coming in and sharing, and it took a lot of courage. So I want to thank you both. I want to keep you. We're going to keep you in our prayers, and please, whenever you can, just let us know how you can help. One of our visions of this council body is partnerships, and I believe that's the solution. We can't do it by ourselves. The community can't do it by themselves. The businesses can't do it by themselves. I think that we have to partner with each other. We have to mentor our young men and women. We have to get our churches and our nonprofits to be a part of this solution. So I think through those kind of partnerships that we're going to establish and advocate for through this session, we will see changes. So again, thank you so much, ladies, and thank you again, Councilwoman Darby.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Is that anything else, Councilwoman Darby?
No, that's it, President.
Okay. Councilwoman Oliver.
Yes. I have two resolutions to present. And okay. First, I'd like to acknowledge Howard High School 2020 Division II football state champs. At the principal, Mr. Hill, on the line. Okay. Is the principal, Mr. Hill, or someone from Howard on the line?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I was just making sure because I don't read them if the person's not here. Okay. This is from Councilwoman Xanthi Oliver. Whereas excellence and success in competitive sports can be achieved through strong desire, commitment, and bond nurtured, dedicated coaches and strategic planning. Whereas athletic competition enhances the moral, physical development of young people, preparing them for the future by instilling in them the value of teamwork, encouraging a standard of healthy living, partly in the desire of excellence and developing their sense of fair play. And whereas the above characteristics on the coaches and the distinguished members of Howard High School of Technology football. Whereas on December the 19th, 2020, under the leadership of the head coach, Dan Ritter, and the assistant coaches, Howard High School of Technology's outstanding football team captured the Delaware DIAA Division II state champions. Howard rode by Archmill 24-6 to capture its second straight Delaware Division II high school football championship. And in the third and sixth season, the Wildcats scored three possessions and never looked back. Howard finished with a perfect 8-0. And whereas I'm not going to call all their names because it's 40 names and we have honored them before, some of them have graduated. Now, therefore, be resolved by the City of Wilmington, the City Council joins the administration, the faculty, the staff, the parents, and the students of Howard High School Technology and the residents of Wilmington to be applaud each athlete and member of the staff Job well done. I like to say, Principal Hill, I'm so proud that that new field, which a lot of people voted against and was against. I'm just so glad. It seemed like that field has given them guys a whole nother view on life. And I'm just so happy they're not out there with their mud and water. And this is their second championship. I know we honored them before, but I know some of them have graduated, and I will be dropping this information off at Howard. And would you like to say a few words?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, thank you, Councilwoman Oliver, for recognizing Howard. Again, my name is Kyle Hill, representing the school this evening. I'm the school principal. Before I go into what we're being honored for, I'd like to first say thank you for giving the parents the space and the opportunity to share their truth. This meeting today, hearing about the mentorship, hearing about the families that have lost loved ones, further enthuses me to continue the work we do on a daily basis with our kids. Our theme this year is we are engaging in the most important work there is in life. There's not one person alive that has not been impacted by a teacher one way or the other, and we need to take that responsibility seriously and enter into that work with the attitude that we need to make sure our youth are going where they need to be. So now to address while we're being honored, this year was the toughest year of my 22 years in education. This is the closest our country has ever been to a hard reset in how we're thinking about and how we are engaged in instruction, teaching and learning on a daily basis. Anybody that has entered a classroom knows how difficult it is under normal circumstances. But in the midst of a pandemic since March to now, not only have the adults had to make a shift and a pivot, but our students have had to make a shift and a pivot to how they're receiving instruction. There was a time where we weren't going to be able to play football or sports at all, which impacts many students in different ways. It impacts their ability to make it to college. It impacts their ability to connect emotionally, social-emotionally, mentally with other people. If all that was taken away, I'm not sure how this would have impacted all of our students that participated, the young men involved in our program. I want to give a shout out to Coach Ritter, who is the all-time winningest coach in Howard's history and continues to make milestones, but he is a stalwart in the fight for everything Howard. He has been there for a very long time, and I'm proud to be a part of it and lead this team with him. I'd like to thank all of the coaches. Most importantly, I'd like to thank all the parents. One thing that I've learned by talking to our students, even through video conferencing, is the mental health piece that doesn't often get mentioned when we're dealing with educating students through video conferencing. They're the social emotional loss of that they've lost by engaging with their friends and their teachers is huge. And because they're teenagers, they don't often get the attention that the middle school and elementary students get, because we assume that they have it all figured out, and they don't. They need us more than ever. So I'm happy to hear about all the organizations within the city that are providing supports through mentoring. That is awesome. So I applaud you. We're all interconnected in so many ways. So I know that we wouldn't have achieved this athletic accomplishment without the supports and structures within the city. So on that note, again, thank you to Councilwoman Oliver and all of you at City Council for recognizing us. But this has truly been one of our greatest accomplishments amidst the pandemic and all that we've been challenged with. So thank you from all the staff and families at Howard.
Thank you. Keep up the good work. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Harley, did you have your hand raised?
I did have my hand raised. I did wanted to say one quick thing. First of all, congratulations once again, Coach. I did receive a call regarding the team doing a parade, and I just want you to know that we were in total support of it, in terms of being supportive of it if we could do it. But since, we're in COVID and the city of Wilmington is trying to comply to our governor's recommendations, it didn't go any further. So I don't know if you were involved in that conversation or not, but I just wanted you to know that we were willing to be supportive of recognizing and celebrating and congratulating the football team for that win for the second year. And real quick, how has that new turf field made a difference in the team winning? That's what I want to know.
The turf field has been awesome. Just the ability for us to practice. Any of us that have ever engaged in any athletic competition know that your games are not won only on game day. They're won by your preparation. And so the field has given us the ability to prepare in comfort of our own school. Having been the only school in the state pretty much that did not have a practice field or a home field, that gave us the ability to not have to add additional travel to our process. So it has worked wonders. It has given us the ability to practice rain or shine. So thank you to all that voted for it. We are putting it to great use, not only for football, but for our physical education. They use that field whenever the weather permits to get out and get fresh air and move around. So thank you. Yes, I was involved in the preparation for the parade. It is something that we all think is a great idea. Winning one championship in high school is an accomplishment. Winning two is something that very few get a chance to be a part of. So we want to honor that accomplishment. And so we thought about, we will honor them with yard signs, T-shirts, jackets. We're in the process of ordering their second state championship rings. But we're going to look towards the spring, hopefully with better weather, lower COVID numbers, to possibly pull off that parade where more of the community and families can be involved and we can all do it safely.
Awesome. I'm so happy to know that new turf field has made a difference. And even with that, Councilmember Oliver, she had taken the lead on sponsoring that legislation and, helping us to understand the importance of that field to the team. And I can clearly see with the win this year and the win last year that turf field, City Council voting on that and supporting y'all made a big difference. So I just wanted to bring that up as well. So thank you. And congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Congratulations, Coach Hill. Winning championships is awesome. I know that's always one of your goals, but I'm sure and I know that you are so much more than a coach to those young men. So thank you for everything that you're doing. Keep up the great work. Keep mentoring. Keep saving their lives. Keep them focused and headed in the right direction. But congratulations for your championships. But I know that you bring so much more to Howard than just championships. Thanks a lot, man.
And thank you. I didn't want to misspeak. I am not a coach. I'm only the principal. I just support the coaching staff and all they do.
Okay, thank you.
Councilwoman Oliver, did you have another resolution?
Yes, I do, Mr. President. I have it's National Blood Donor Month, and I'd like to invite Mr. Tony Prado on the line if he's here. Is Tony on the line from the blood bank?
Yes, sorry, I was muted there for a second. It's great to be here with you, Councilwoman Oliver.
And I just like to make sure you're here because I don't normally acknowledge if nobody's here. I don't want to be reading something that and the person I'm acknowledging is not on.
I hear that.
Okay. This is a sponsor from Councilwoman Xanthia Oliver, the City of Wilmington. And whereas the City of Wilmington wishes to recognize the month of January as National Blood Donor Month, whereas according to the American Red Cross, winter is one of the most difficult times of the year to collect blood products to meet patient needs. That's because the people are busy around the holidays, vacations are scheduled, excuse me, the climate of the weather, and that leads to cancellation of blood drives. And seasonal illness such as the flu have some people to forego donating blood. Whereas National Blood Donor Month has occurred every year during the month of January since 1970. Whereas donating blood saves lives and improves health of many people, according to the World Health Organization, blood is the most precious gift that anyone can give to another person, a gift of life. A decision to donate your blood can save a life or even several. And whereas the Blood Bank of Delaware of Delmarva states 9 out of 10 individuals will need blood or blood products at some times in their lives. And one out of every 10 hospital patients require blood transfusion. And whereas the National Blood Donor Month is critical and vital to the city of Wilmington, the state of Delaware, and this country, council implores you to donate blood. Applause the hard work of the frontline workers at various entitles such as the Blood Bank of Delaware, American Red Cross, to name a few. Now, whereas it be resolved, the City Council of the City of Wilmington recognizes the month of January as National Blood Donor Month. Thank you. Would you like to say a few words, sir?
Yes, that was a phenomenal resolution. Thank you so much to Wilmington City Council, including you, Mr. President, council members, and Councilwoman Oliver. It's an honor to be here, and we really appreciate it. And as Councilwoman Oliver said, we're celebrating National Blood Donor Month, which was created back in 1970 by President Nixon to help the American Red Cross at the national level, as well as local blood banks like ourselves. We here at the Blood Bank of Delmarva are charged with providing all hospitals in the state of Delaware with the blood and blood products they need, as well as the Eastern Shore of Maryland and the Eastern Shore of Virginia. And January and all of the winter months are typically a very slow time for us. As Councilwoman Oliver mentioned in her resolution, we face a number of challenges. I would just add, on top of all that, we have COVID-19 to deal with. And it's astonishing what it has done to us. Our mobile operations, for instance, when you have seen us, for instance, in the city county building set up with our equipment and our phlebotomists donating blood, that is down 57%. So it has had an impact. We've been able to redirect some of our donors to the donor centers to make up for that, as well as staff, where people are donating safely, incidentally. We're cleaning everything constantly. Everyone's wearing a mask. And we're social distancing, and we're strongly encouraging appointments to make sure that we know who's coming in. We're taking your temperature right at the door. And, you know, January is a time for people to, reflect and observe National Blood Donor Month to raise awareness. And it's something that unites us. As Councilwoman Oliver said, blood cannot be manufactured outside the human body. We can't just produce it in a factory. It has to come from human beings, and it's a powerful way to help your fellow man. You can donate blood and save lives, whether it's someone in a car accident or a gunshot wound, or even a scheduled surgery, a hip replacement, for instance, can cause you to bleed, and the doctors and nurses need to replace your blood. And it's something invaluable that you can do to help your community. And I'm proud to say that Councilwoman Oliver is a registered donor with us. She just visited us recently, and it was great to see her. She got her t-shirt as we were celebrating the fact that we're also testing for the COVID-19 antibody. And that's what the t-shirt was for. And we appreciate her coming in and for the support she is showing us with this resolution. And we supply all 19 hospitals in Delmarva, and that means we need 350 donors a day. It's not always easy to get to that number. We don't always hit there to hit that target, but we try real hard. And I just want to say, whether it's Councilwoman Oliver, she's a potential candidate to be our champion in the city of Wilmington, but you all know by now that Paula Gatos has retired. She used to coordinate the blood drives that you saw in the city county building, sometimes in the lobby there. And that was great to resurrect our relationship, the special relationship we have with the city of Wilmington. Because I want to point out, the Blood Bank of Delaware, as it was known in 1954, was created right in the city of Wilmington. I just want to point that out. And since then, we've grown, we've merged with the blood bank in the Eastern Shore of Maryland. That's how we became the Blood Bank of Delmarva. And now we're in Christiana, across from the hospital, which is important because that's the level 1 trauma center where a lot of dear folks who need help are going to be transported by ambulance or helicopter. Things change, but we are definitely looking to get back more into the city of Wilmington. We've developed a good relationship with the 76ers Fieldhouse, and that has a potential to make it very convenient for the folks in the city of Wilmington to donate. So again, I can't thank Councilwoman Oliver enough for recognizing National Blood Donor Month. It's the dead of winter. It's a tough time. And anytime you want to donate blood and help your fellow man, you're welcome to come by. delmarvablood.org is our website. We're easy to find, and you can call 1-888-8-BLOOD-8.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Councilwoman Oliver, did you have any other resolutions?
No, sir, that was it, Mr. President. Thank you so much.
Just want to make sure I'm not missing any council members who may want to give remarks. I don't see any hands raised. All right, at this time, I will read a couple resolutions that are coming on behalf of all of us as City Council. First, whereas the 4-year term of Joe Biden as president and Kamala Harris as vice president commenced with the inauguration of President Joe Biden as the 46th president of the United States on January the 20th, 2021. And whereas this peaceful transition of power is a time-honored custom of great significance, and this legislative body seeks to recognize and pay tribute to this tradition and meaningful moment in our nation's history. And whereas amidst great national tension and apprehension, the City of Wilmington wishes to recognize the important role of the inauguration and honor of the office of the presidency. Now therefore be resolved by the Council of the City of Wilmington that this legislative body supports the administration of President Joseph R. Biden and recognizes his achievement as President and Commander-in-Chief. And I'm sure we all, this whole city probably has our own personal stories of a man a lot of us call Uncle Joe. And we just want to, again, congratulate him, wish him well. And he will definitely be in our prayers. He and our Vice President. I just have one more resolution that I'm going to read. Whereas the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a keystone figure of the civil rights movement, fostering the efforts of his peers and the supporters in enfranchising Black citizens and securing their unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And whereas the birthday of Martin Luther King Jr. is a federal recognized holiday since 1983, and it's observed on the third Monday of January, although his birthday is actually on January the 15th. Whereas the City of Wilmington has been recognized as a site of historic change and significance during the civil rights movement, influenced by the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Whereas his goals, his priorities, and dreams recognized as enduring and valuable to the communities of people seeking an end to discrimination, disenfranchisement, police brutality, and inequities. And whereas these goals, priorities, and dreams are fostered by the community of Wilmington, Delaware, now therefore be resolved by the Council of the City of Wilmington that this legislative body recognizes January 18th as Martin Luther King Day in the City of Wilmington, and ask all citizens to take a day to reflect on their own civic service, as well as to continuing the significance of Dr. King. We also want to recognize all of our frontline workers. I'm just going to read a little bit of this resolution. Wilmington City Council wishes to recognize the many frontline workers who have stood on the front lines during this COVID-19 pandemic, putting their lives in harm's way on a daily basis so that they can provide key, critical, essential services to the residents of the City of Wilmington. And these essential workers have been called to meet our basic needs during the COVID-19 shutdown. A significant portion of these workers, frontline workers, cannot remotely work. And some may think that the frontline workers are only the healthcare workers. However, frontline workers during this pandemic have not only been limited to the healthcare profession, such as doctors and nurses, but the frontline workers are also a group that typically receive lower wages and come from disproportionately socioeconomically disadvantaged groups compared to the overall workforce. Whereas City Council commends all of the frontline workers for their tireless work and their effort during this COVID-19 pandemic, we salute you. At this time, I don't think anyone has their hand raised. Per our rules, legislative business is supposed to start at 7:30, but we do have the ability to have a vote to allow for public comment instead of going directly into legislative business. So I will accept a motion for us to, and this does have to, according to the rules, this does have to be passed by not only a majority, but a 2/3 majority of all of council, so that we can continue on with our meeting, starting with public comment. So I'm going to make a motion that we continue to move into public comment before we go into legislative business.
Second.
Well, a point of order, Council President. I believe, and I defer to Law Department, there needs to be an actual determinate time pursuant to Rule 2J. I don't believe an indefinite extension is a proper motion.
I will allow our parliamentarian to comment on that.
It has to be a time certain.
Councilman Johnson, you're referring to Rule 2J of the council rules?
Correct, and I believe otherwise it would obviate the
chance to speak.
The intent of the rule.
Right, so the rule doesn't necessarily specify that. It says this portion of the meeting shall begin no later than 7:30 p.m. unless leave is granted by 2/3 of vote of the members present to grant additional time for public comment. I agree, for the sake of efficiency, a time certain should be set, but the rule that you're referring to is a separate rule, Councilman Johnson.
I second the motion. Can we have a vote?
Yes, I will accept the motion that
on the question still.
Yes, I will accept the motion that we allow for public comment for 40 minutes.
I'll
second the motion.
Yeah, I'll second the motion.
I second that motion.
Cabrera second the motion first.
It's been seconded that we allow public comment for 40 minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? So moved. At this time, we will go to public comment, and I'm going to do my best to call on those who signed up first. I'm just waiting on some direction from WITN. All right, first I think we're going to have Chandra Pitts. Is Chandra Pitts still with us?
I was going to say Michelina Jesus, I believe, was the first one on the list.
I just got a message from WITN and they gave me the order. Michelina is on there, but Chandra is.
Yeah, she was the first one though. And then WITN came on and started asking people to sign up, but she had already signed up appropriately with her name and her district. And then someone else came under her, and then WITN came on and asked people to sign up, and then other people started to sign up. Just because I read it, I've been watching the text and commenting. But I defer that to the rest of you.
Thank you. Chandra Pitts, are you still with us?
She was going back to her event.
Okay. Dale,
No, I'm here. But I said, please allow Magdalena to speak. If she was first, that's fine.
okay, thank you. We actually have Dale Thomas.
Sorry about that.
Dale Thomas, are you still with us?
Yes, Mr. President, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much. And thank you, City Council, for taking the time to hear from the community, from your constituents. It's greatly appreciated. And I feel a very important thing to do. So thank you. Just real quick, I want to say congratulations to all of you for your victories and starting here in the 108th session for Wilmington City Council. I also wanted to say thank you very much for the legislation tonight. It's focused on things that need to be done, and it's not growing government, which is a very important thing to me, and I'm sure many others, that we keep things local and we keep things within the community where people have the power and not government. So thank you for doing that and for all that you continue to do. To my fellow Wilmingtonians who will be speaking after me, again, thank you for coming out and talking as well. It's of vital importance that we, all of us, both members of the city, citizens of the city, and those in City Council, that we continue to work together. And again, thank you all, especially to those of you whom take our calls and text messages on City Council. It is greatly appreciated. And again, thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Thomas. Magdalena de Jesus.
I'm here.
Okay, thank you for joining.
Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. Okay, let me start by saying, well, thank you, Trippy, for allowing me the floor. And it's okay, Johnson, if you want to oppose, you can just do that publicly, but that's, thank you for the floor. But I want to start by saying, good evening to everyone. My name is Michaelina de Jesus. I am a city resident. I'm actually on the line of Mr. Johnson. Actually, I am Mr. Johnson's district and on the line of Miss Brigida Fields. I also organize for 302 Guns Down in Wilmington, which is a nonprofit organization here that focuses on the youth prevention for gun violence.
Excuse me. I just want to say that Channel 22 has no sound. And I think it's important that participants tuning in get to hear what the public has to say.
Okay, I can wait a minute and just let me know when they get sound, if that's okay with everyone.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman Gray. I'll look for a message from WITN to let us know when if the sound is working on channel 20.
Mr. President, but we're in the middle of
just came
orders. So I mean, they're going to rerun it anyway.
Okay, it just came on. So again, my name is Michaelina. I do organize for a nonprofit organization, 302 Guns Down in Wilmington, and I'm also a city resident that resides in Chris Johnson's district and on the line of Miss Brigida Fields. I do want to start off though by congratulating again everybody for their victories in these seats as legislators, mediators, and more importantly, the voices of the city, the people of Wilmington. And I usually don't do politics, so please excuse me if my words are not politically correct, but I just want to be clear on my understanding, as I'm used to focusing more on boots on the ground type of work. But this year I logged in to watch people accept their chairs and be sworn in. And as resolutions were brought forth, mostly by Councilman Johnson, they were immediately seconded by Walsh and followed by the same 5 others. Everything was happening so fast. I was trying to understand and grasp what was actually happening. But one thing that was clear was a divide. And I started to feel, really uncomfortable. As I usually work with our council people in our districts, as we do a lot of community things, a lot of the nonprofits here, I was starting to feel a little bit of ease, as it was very clear that there were a few 6 council people that weren't involved and a lot of these resolutions brought forth. So I was really uncomfortable as words of like unity and, you know, collaborative effort and come together were being used when transparency within the council itself was displaying a clear divide. So yeah, that being said, it really makes me weary on how we the people will believe that there'll be transparency in our community. Also, you know, I want to make sure I say a lot, and I don't have a lot on the a lot of time. One thing that I did understand, and I want to make sure, and please, if anybody, if I'm not understanding this right, please feel free to jump in. To my belief, it won't be so much President Congo making presidential decisions as elected, as long as these 7 individuals, you know, pretty much trump anything introduced, and that's pun intended. So along with some of those things that were put in place, it would be a shame to hear all of those beautiful things that were being said in recognitions, thanks to Councilwoman Darby earlier, with all of these organizations doing frontline work in the city with the community and youth frontline. If any of those organizations were to change their residential address, then that means that they would have no longer a right to speak, even though they hold that type of position in the community, according to the new rules that was put in by Johnson and agreed by the 6 others. What really concerns me is the for it to be putting the power back to the people. I don't understand why, and even as a display right now, why it's so limited on public comment. Further limited that if you are not a taxpayer or a resident in the city of Wilmington, that you do not have a voice. That falls under homeless, which are free citizens of the state, possibly volunteers, people who attend churches in the city, possibly parents who send their kids to private or charter
Council President, I
schools.
make the point of order. Mr. Jesus is going on to 5 minutes now. Pursuant to the rules, she is timed out. Thank you.
So that's part of my point proven. I do have some more important topics that really need to be addressed, and I can just give me 1 more minute. So you see the limit where I'm going with this, and you see who is blocking me from, you know, comments. So it's very clear what's being happened here.
Council
So
President, in a point of order, as an official running this meeting, you have to stick to the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And law
Okay,
department chime in.
Okay.
Councilman
Well, I just
Jackson, Mrs. De Jesus was interrupted when she first started. And
But I
was
understand that was
informed.
we're 5 minutes into it.
Is there an issue?
I'm going to allow her to continue to speak. Thank you. Mrs. De Jesus, you have 1 more minute.
Thank you, President Congo. I'll speed it up. So there are a lot of restrictions on who actually has a say. And most of these too can also be nonprofit affected as well that do majority of their work in the community. Some of them are Ignite the Flame Church. They pay a lot of our city residents rent. There are some community legal aids that do not reside here. These voices are also limited. Also, there was a motion that was put in for the Judiciary Committee to be removed. So to my understanding, that if there are any city residents that has a legal in need of legal aid, they are appointed to council, which therefore we sit in front of Przitsky's 7. So in other words, you know, we're being let. It's to me, I believe it to be a conflict of interest. Although that committee is very needed. And I would like to make a recommendation for council to review that and please to bring a resolution forth to bring that back in order, along with the restrictions of the public comment. And thank you so much for the floor. And for most, I look forward to working with you.
All right, thank you, Ms. De Jesus. Carmen Silva, we just want to remind everyone that you do have 3 minutes, and I will let you know when there are 30 seconds left. Carmen Silva, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, well, good evening. My name is Carmen Silva. I am a resident of the 5th District. I have been here in this district for over almost 50 years. Since I came from Puerto Rico, this is where I came to live. I went to school, went to college, and the reason I'm here tonight is because I want to voice myself. For the past 8 years, our district has been totally ignored, abandoned, and we're a lot of us are extremely frustrated, especially us homeowners who have paid our taxes, who have been there, who have tried to work very hard with the city administration, police department, and everyone. I'm glad in a way tonight that I was able to finally meet our council person. I had no idea who she was, never came around to knock on our doors or anything. Surprisingly enough, okay, so her name is on the council, and she is our council. So I hope and pray that we can work together, that we're not going to be just a spot in the map of the city of Wilmington, and that we get the respect that all the other council areas are getting. Again, I'm hoping and praying that a difference will be made. Listening to this meeting today, I am a little shaky, not very comfortable right now. But I do thank you for allowing me to speak tonight, and looking forward to work with the councilwoman and the rest of the council to better our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Silva. Miss Miller, Cheyenne Miller. You still with us? Is Cheyenne Miller still with us?
Hi. Sorry, they had to give me the opportunity to speak, to put my thing off mute.
Okay.
My name is Cheyenne Miller. I am in the 7th district. I live in Chris Johnson's district. And I am also here to speak on the fact that since we didn't have a chance to give public comment during the inauguration, I would like to lay it out there that I was extremely disappointed to start this year off on divisiveness and no unity amongst people who had pledged that when they ran, and people who had pledged that as turning a new leaf. And so I'm hoping that we can continue this year off on a better note. However, with the rules that were passed during the inauguration, there are pieces of the rules that give me serious concern as a community organizer and as a resident of the city. Specifically, a rule that says that you are not allowed to give public comment unless you are a resident or if you pay taxes. That is something that's going to be a problem because A, I'd love to know how that's going to be enforced. And then B, I would like to make sure that we're not excluding people who are in the city and can't prove where they live. So we care about homeless residents and we care about their ability to participate in city council. It's important that they are allowed to participate in city council. Many members of the public do not have an ID, and yet we are unsure. I have people asking, well, does this mean that I have to bring an ID in order to come and give public comment? And I also want to know people to know that immigrants whose kids are U.S. citizens could be excluded from this. Students who go to schools inside of the city of Wilmington but don't necessarily live in the city of Wilmington and have to walk, play, eat, sleep, transport themselves in the city of Wilmington will now have parents who cannot come and speak. We are worried about freelancers, people who come and volunteer in the city of Wilmington who may want to speak on behalf of those who may not feel comfortable coming. And I also want to say that it is very scary to sit and have your council member interrupt you multiple times and tell you that your time is up and you're not allowed to talk. And so I would like to admonish you, Chris, and say I would really appreciate it if you had more.
Point of order. Again, there's certain rules the council has. And
Point of order on Chris. He's interrupted the person again.
Thank you. I really would appreciate it as a citizen.
Again, law department.
I would like an opportunity to finish
Quoting
my
the law
comment.
department, Chris.
If you got if you got a place for people to come and speak, please allow them to speak. Can I reclaim my time?
Yes, you have 45 seconds.
Okay, well, I'd like to reclaim 10 of that since I was interrupted.
Yes, ma'am.
So I would also like to say that it would be helpful for the rest of the city council to know that we all are really supportive of having a good 4 years. We do want to see good policy passed, and we are supportive of what we know is going to be a good year. We're speaking it into existence. And we appreciate the fact that we have people who are saying that they want to get City Council started off on a good year. We hope that you will provide all people in the city who frequent the city, who come to the city, to provide public comment. You ask for what residence people come from, you will know whether or not you want to listen to someone, regardless of where they live. And so we appreciate the fact that you've given us the chance to talk tonight, and we hope that you will consider changing this rule to ensure that people can give public comment regardless of their residence or whether or not they pay taxes. I'm finished.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Council President Congo, it's Chandra Pitts.
Yes.
What WITN just sent me a message to speak. I wasn't giving up my time. I just wanted to let Michaelina De Jesus go before me since it was an issue.
Okay, yes. Are you ready to speak now?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, go ahead. Ms. Pitts.
In great anticipation of the 108th Wilmington City Council inauguration, I was inspired to host a watch party with 9 of our Freedom Fellows who are paid One Village Alliance interns ranging from age 14 to 16, who all reside in the city of Wilmington and come from high poverty communities. It was an embarrassment for our city and disappointing awakening for our teens. We watched Councilperson Chris Johnson, in a mirror moment, relegate his actions to merely a spokesperson, puppeteer to lead a divisive, manipulative, backdoor dealing power trip throughout much of the inauguration. I implore city residents on the call to review the meeting, share it, and contact your council representative. This victory that these individuals are sitting on council is not a victory for our city. We need you to demand that the damage that was done during the inauguration meeting be undone, and particularly very important committees, including and particularly the Judiciary Committee, which was removed during that council meeting. So the other thing I want to mention goes back to earlier in the meeting. There's a website, data.delawareonline.com. Wilmington has consistently ranked high for violent crime for a city of its size. To better track shootings and homicides within the city, Delaware Online has built a database. Just in Mike Przicki, the mayor of the city of Wilmington's, during his administration, there have been 571 shooting victims. 571. You heard from some of those victims' parents at the beginning of this meeting. I want to also make sure that you all know that that homicide record has been broke 3 times during Mayor Mike Przicki's administration. In 2017, 197 shooting victims. In 2018, 78. 2019, 114. In 2020, we ended the year with 169 shooting victims, and it's only January. There have been 11 victims already. City Council, we asked you to stop arguing over whose name is on the list first. We asked you to stop arguing and cutting people off who are trying to speak. We are important voices. This is a democracy, and we've assigned you to represent us. And we need you to put your petty differences and divisiveness aside and serve this city. It truly does take a whole village, and we are all a part of that. You are in those seats because we voted you there, and we are partners in this work. So the power trip and divisiveness, let's all unite and bring this city to the place that it needs to be, because Delaware is on that national map, and we've had enough of politics as usual. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pitts. Next, we have Ms. India Colon Diaz. Ms. Diaz, are you still with us?
Hello, President Congo. Yes, I am. I'm sorry. I was just taking a second for WITN to unmute me. Good evening, members of the 108th and President Congo. I appreciate you guys giving me the platform to speak tonight. I am in consensus with the rest of the constituents that are here tonight, speaking on behalf of our community, what unity means. And ultimately, we do know that on the agenda tonight, we didn't have the platform to speak on the first public comment, but we are here to speak today to basically reiterate what Sister Chandra Pitts was saying, is we did elect all of you to work cohesively, to work in a different manner that has existed over the last 4 years, or even 8 for that matter. We are holding everyone accountable at this point. We are tired as a community, and we're basically not going to tolerate, in a sense, the consistency of a divide when we elected our community leaders to make the right decisions and basically do everything with a sense of ethic that's going to push the community forward, not with hidden agendas, not with weighted comments, not with interruptions. The community has a voice and we should honor those voices. And yes, we are aware that there is a limited time, just like there is tonight. I want to make some key points. A lot of them have already been made regarding legislation and the rules that passed in the last inaugural session. Number one being the fact that you have to be a Wilmington City resident and Wilmington City taxpayer. I'm not going to get too far into detail, but it goes under the constitutional rights alone of the free citizen of the state, the homeless people, which counts out a lot of veterans that walk around the city of Wilmington and don't have a voice, but people like myself who don't live in the city of Wilmington always advocate for them. It includes the 30,000 plus undocumented immigrants who are here in the city of Wilmington but don't have a voice. That would exclude me from having this kind of platform. So again, that's a discriminatory act against our undocumented immigrants who, according to the Constitution, are not to be violated or even go against when it comes to refugees, people on soil. The Constitution does not say citizens, it says people, the people. And that includes refugees, immigrants, as well as those that are undocumented. So I want to make sure that that is very much highlighted today regarding that rule. I also understand that there is a rule that was eliminated in the January 5th session to say that there is no real-time comments allowed while legislation is passing. So there's no real-time comments allowed anymore when legislation that affects the community is going to be no longer allowed public comment. That is something that I believe Councilwoman Gray had brought to the table, and it was either a resolution or an ordinance. I expect that you guys will honor that and bring back that to the forefront, because that is something that the community is expecting. Another big thing is the Judiciary Committee. Like I said, I did see that in the initial thing. We do know today that it is so vital that the city solicitor is not necessarily for the people. There's a natural conflict of interest because he is paid for by the mayor. So his salary is held and his decisions are held by that. That Judiciary Committee is vital so that our community has a voice when it comes to legal matters or concerns of the community. So I urge you guys to reconsider and place that resolution back on the table and bring that committee, because if I remember correctly, Councilman Spadola made mention that the beauty of these rules is that you guys can make these adjustments and amendments. So I do hope that you guys honor what it is that you guys are saying. And the last thing that I'm going to say, because I know I'm very limited right now, goes directly to Councilman Johnson. And this is not a hit against Councilman Cabrera, because I've told her before, as a Latina, I can never work against her. However, I will say this, Councilman Johnson, as a Latina, I was highly offended that the justification for the appointment of pro temp was merely on the sole fact that you had two qualified leaders, and the only reason she was nominated in was merely and justified on the mere fact that she was a Latina, and merely to make a point of history. Latinos and Latinas are not, Councilman Johnson, clout for a justification to put us on the table for a vote. So though she may be respected and she may be honored in the fact that she got pro temp, let it be known, mind your words, because the community is not happy that you utilize someone with such dignified representation as clout to justify your votes. So I urge you guys to reconsider going forward. There's so much more to be said. However, I will make sure to talk directly to our council members that I work with consistently in the districts, which is Councilwoman Brigida Fields, to hold her accountable, Chris Johnson, Councilman Johnson, to hold you accountable, and as well as all the other district members that are at large. And I intend to continue this dialogue, maybe not today, but I will be making this dialogue more of a public platform. And I expect you guys to do better going forward. I'm shameful how everything happened on January 5th. Thank you so much, President Congo.
Thank you, Ms. Colon Diaz. Ms. Delcy Morales. Delcy Morales, I think you have to, okay, I think you're still with us?
Yes, I got it now, I believe. Thank you. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you for joining us. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you so much. So my name is Dulcie Morales. I pay city taxes. I am not a resident. However, I have lived in Wilmington for all my life pretty much until I purchased my first home. 29 years old. I do a lot of volunteer work in the community outside of my career, which is also community driven and community focused. I am not political whatsoever. I came into klutz with everything that has been happening just recently through social media, of course, which really jogged my interest in what was going on. What am I missing? What should I know? One, as a Latina, but also as a community member. And one of the things that really stuck out to me was one of the policies that are possibly going to be enforced about limited public comment, or if you don't live within the districts or you pay taxes. I am saved because I pay taxes, but you have no idea how my heart skipped a beat and my stomach sank when I heard that if I didn't work within the city limits and pay taxes, that I wasn't able to do what I normally do on a day-to-day basis and really advocate for the community that I serve. So not only is it a career, but it's also what I do outside of my career. Speaking for the people within the city limits, not only as a former resident, but also just now as an adult, trying to make a difference and trying to help the individuals that don't have a voice. So one of the things that I do ask, and it's the only ask I really have, is to reconsider that part of it. Out of all things, that's the one thing that really stuck out to me. This is my first meeting here again, and the meeting was going very well, until the public started speaking and I realized people were getting cut off. So thank you, those who advocated for those not to be cut off. I really appreciate that. I am aware I do got a few minutes left, but I do want to say this. Segregation means the action or state of setting someone or something apart from other people or things, or being set apart in general. All I ask is that we work in unity with the community and not segregate it. Whichever, segregation may mean different things to everyone, but the whole goal of this group is to bring unity together and work as a team with the community and together. So please, if you could just take a look at that one policy and reconsider as a community member, because I am considering myself that regardless of my residency, I would really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your comments. I believe that is everyone who signed up for public comment. Again, I want to thank all of you for taking time and giving us your feedback and your concerns on how we can be a better council for you. We will continue to. I do plan on making amendments to our rules that to specifically address some of the concerns that were raised here this evening. So again, I just want to thank you for your comments and just ask for your patience as we do try to make our rules more inclusive. At this time, we will go to legislative business. Councilmember Gray.
President.
Councilmember Gray?
None this evening, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Darby.
Yes, Mr. President, I have a resolution to present on your behalf.
Resolution 21008, revision 1 to agenda 0009. Whereas in accordance with section 2-104 of the city charter, city council shall employ such persons as may be necessary for the proper discharge of its business. And whereas council deems it desirable to appoint the following person necessary for the proper discharge of its business, who shall serve at the pleasure of city council. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the city of Wilmington, the following person is hereby appointed and shall be placed in the City of Wilmington in the office. Be it further resolved that the city clerk is hereby directed to forward copies of this resolution to the Director of Human Resources, the city treasurer, and the city auditor.
I'm going to ask for everyone to please mute your phones. Everyone, please mute your phones. Thank you very much. Sorry for that interruption.
A motion is needed to move the resolution, Mr. President.
Mr. President, can we get that read again? I missed the name.
Sorry, Councilmember Spadola?
Yes, sir. Could we get that resolution read again? I couldn't hear the name.
Yes, I think that's a great idea. If you don't mind reading that again, someone did not have their phone muted. There was a lot of background noise.
Sure. Resolution 21008, revision 1 to agenda 0009. Whereas in accordance with section 2-104 of the city charter, city council shall employ such persons as may be necessary for the proper discharge of its business. And whereas council deems it desirable to appoint the following person necessary for the proper discharge of its business, who shall serve at the pleasure of city council. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the city of Wilmington, that the following person is hereby appointed as an employee of city council and shall be placed on the payroll of the city of Wilmington in the office of the city clerk. Akira Grenardo, Legislative Administrative Assistant, Deputy City Clerk. Be it further resolved that the city clerk is hereby directed to forward copies of this resolution to the Director of Human Resources, the city treasurer, and the city auditor.
I move this resolution be received, recorded, and filed and adopted by a yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the resolution be received, recorded, and filed, adopted by yea, nay vote. On the question? You see some hands up. Councilwoman Gray.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to say that this candidate, I have worked with her, or we have worked together during the legislative period of 107. And I will say that she demonstrated congeniality, her ability to work with at least me and other council members from my understanding, and she showed initiative. So I'm very supportive of her being the deputy to a very important position in our council, which is clerk, deputy clerk of the court. I definitely endorse this recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Gray. Councilwoman Harley.
Thank you, Council President. I too want to say that I'm very happy to be a co-sponsor for Akira Grenardo for this particular position. Akira currently works on council. She worked for the 107th session. And I can truly say that Akira has demonstrated growth. He has demonstrated development and competence. And since she's been on the staff, I can definitely say that she has grown a lot. He's professional, he's respectful. And I just want to say that she has exactly what is needed to be in this position, and I can see her even going further. I'm very sad to say that, you know, she had to go through this. There's no reason why she should not have gotten, her name should have gotten voted on January the 5th. But nonetheless, we're here tonight, and I am very happy to co-sponsor this legislation. And I want to say to you, Akira, thank you for all your hard work, for being professional. And many times when I've given you tasks before I could finish explaining to you all that's needed, you would always have already thought it through. So you are definitely going to be an added value staff member to the 108th Council, and congratulations. And I'm hoping that this legislation passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Harley. Councilwoman Walsh. I believe your hand is up. Councilwoman Walsh. Councilwoman Oliver.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I too would like to acknowledge Akira's hard work and dedication. I'm not going to repeat everything that Councilman Hardy said, but I agree with her totally that she has really matured. And whenever I ask her to do something, she's always right there. So I'm just happy to see that she's moving up. And Akira, just keep up the good work.
Thank you, Councilwoman Oliver. Councilwoman Walsh, did you have any comments?
Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. President, I couldn't get my mute turned on.
Oh, that's okay.
Akira is a great girl, a great gal. She's a terrific employee who can't do enough for whomever she's working for. And I'd like to be added to this sponsorship, please.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
May I speak? I can't raise my hand.
Yes, Councilwoman Cabrera.
Yes, I just want to say that she is very well qualified for the job. I've heard great things about her. Haven't had the pleasure of working with her intimately like some of the other council members, but I've heard really good things about you. So Akira, welcome. And I too would like to be added to the resolution if that's permitted. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the interruption. I'd like to be added. I'm sorry, I left that out. I was just assuming. I'm sorry.
Yes, you are a co-sponsor, Councilwoman Oliver. Councilwoman McCoy.
Thank you. I just wanted to basically reiterate what everyone else has said. The staff person actually worked diligently, and I have seen her progress and show initiative of wanting to learn more. I think that this is a great position, and she will, and who better than to try to learn the craft of our wonderful Maribel than Akira. So I also would like to be added to this resolution.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman McCoy. Councilwoman Fields.
I'd just like to say it was a pleasure to be added to this resolution. Akira, she impressed me when she did I think we had during the transition time, and she spoke about her qualifications and, what she liked about her job and how she definitely wanted to move forward and progress and becoming more involved in the goings on in city council. So it wasn't a question for me to co-sponsor on this. So Akira, look for me to definitely be reaching out to you for some assistance on whatever I may have. So I just appreciate you. And I thank you in advance, and just get ready because we got a lot of work to do, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Councilwoman Fields. Councilwoman Darby. Councilwoman Darby.
Sorry, I'm just having problems. I just want to say that I'm happy to be a co-sponsor. I have not worked personally with you, but I know behind the scenes people were fighting for you to be here where you are. So I'm just happy to be a part of this, to be a co-sponsor. And you should have been on here on the 5th. Have a good day.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman Darby. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone. Councilwoman Dixon.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also just wanted to echo the comments of everyone who spoke on Akira this evening. She has not only been doing the work of a legislative aide, which she was in previously, but also helping out with Marshall with the finances as well. And every time also that I need something done with the finances, as far as getting things done for scholarships, or making sure that I'm not out of money. At the same time, she's always helps keep tabs for me, and also any other things with discretionary funds for us as well. So I want to commend her on taking on this new position in leadership. She deserves it more than anybody else. So I look forward to continue working with you, Kira, in our 108th session. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Dixon. Let's see, anyone else? Yes, Akira, your work definitely speaks for itself. Looking forward to working with you. I'm sure that all of council feels the same way, that the the few of us have spoken about you, and they'll get to see your work ethic firsthand shortly. So congratulations, and job well done. This time we're going to ask the clerk to call for the roll.
Councilwoman Gray,
Yes.
Councilwoman Darby,
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fields,
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson,
Yes.
Councilman Field,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabrera,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dixon,
Yes.
Councilman Spadola,
Yes.
Councilwoman Walsh,
Yes.
President Congo.
Yes.
13 yeas.
Declared adopted. Any other legislation, Councilman Darby? Okay, we'll move on to Councilmember Oliver. Any legislation?
No, nothing tonight, Mr. President. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Councilmember Harley.
Oh, yes, Council President. I have an ordinance to present and call for the first and second reading.
Ordinance 21001, Agenda 0011, an ordinance wherein the City of Wilmington accepts the dedication of 4 streets at the riverfront, naming them Judy Johnson Drive, South Madison Street, Shipyard Drive, and Frawley Drive.
Mr. President, I move that it be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer it to the Public Works and Transportation Committee.
Excuse me.
Second.
It's first reading.
She didn't read the second.
I believe it has to be read twice, Councilman.
Oh, sorry about that. The screen is moving around. I'm so sorry.
An ordinance wherein the City of Wilmington accepts the dedication of 4 streets at the riverfront, naming them Judy Johnson Drive, South Madison Street, Shipyard Drive, and Frawley Drive.
Okay, Mr. President, I move that it be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and refer it to the Public Works and Transportation Committee.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that be known as the first and second reading of the ordinance and referred to the Public Works and Transportation Committee.
That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Fields.
No, I do not have any resolutions to present. Thank you, Council President.
Councilmember McCoy.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Councilmember Johnson.
No items tonight, Mr. President.
Councilmember Field.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Councilmember Cabrera.
Nothing this evening, sir. Thank you.
Councilmember Dixon.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President.
Councilmember Spadola.
Yes, Mr. President, I am thrilled to present this resolution on your behalf.
Resolution 21009 of revision 1 to agenda 0008. Whereas in accordance with section 2-104 of the city charter, city council shall employ such persons as may be necessary for the proper discharge of its business. And whereas council deems it desirable to appoint the following person necessary for the proper discharge of his business, who shall serve at the pleasure of city council. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the city of Wilmington that the following persons hereby appointed as an employee of city council shall be placed on the payroll of the city of Wilmington in the office of the city clerk. Raina Harper Allen, legislative and community director. Be it further resolved that the city clerk is hereby directed to forward copies of this resolution to the director of human resources, the city treasurer, and the city auditor.
I move this resolution be received, recorded, and filed and adopted by a yea and nay vote.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the resolution be received, recorded, filed, and adopted by a yea and nay vote. On the question? Mr. Council Member Spadola.
Yes, Mr. President, thank you. Very happy to present this resolution tonight along with the majority of the council members sponsoring it. For those who were in the interview last week at the Personnel Committee, I think you couldn't help but be impressed by Miss Harper. And we started this meeting off tonight talking about mentorship and highlighting how important that is. And I met Ms. Harper for the first time when she was working for Big Brother, Big Sister, and so that is in her blood as well. So I think she will be a very pleasant addition to the City Council. I think she will help unify us. I think she's a bridge builder, and I look forward to working with her. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Spadola. Councilmember Johnson.
Yes, I am glad to also support Ms. Raina Harper's joining our staff. This has been a long time coming. I believe this is something where we have to look at, we have a large task ahead, as a lot of folks have commented on tonight. We have serious issues regarding gun violence. We have serious issues regarding getting out of the pandemic, the financial pandemic as well that we're in. So it's just a lot of crises at once. And having Raina on board with us, I'm really thrilled because we have now a very talented team member as we continue to grow and be responsive to the community and help us navigate these perilous times. So I'm glad to have you on board, Raina.
Thank you, Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Oliver.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to echo what my other council members have said. I've never worked with Raina, but I was very impressed with her resume, and I'm looking forward to working with her. And I've heard so many good things about her. I'm looking forward to working with her leadership. And I just want to say congratulations. I think both of these young ladies are going to do great for City Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Oliver. Councilmember Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to be added as a sponsor, number one.
Okay.
Number two, I'm very happy to see Raina joining our team. This is a terrific woman. Everyone I've spoken to who has worked with her in the past just said she's pretty remarkable. So we'll see what happens. And I welcome her addition to the staff of this council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Walsh. Councilmember Harley.
Thank you, Council President. First of all, I want to say that I'm very excited about the staff that stayed on. Marshall stayed on, Tracy, Mary Bell, Akira. And I do want to say for the record that I believe that we had a very talented, articulate, smart staff member that was already on 107, as these other ladies are that are very sharp, that was doing the job. A community person, very well connected in the community, very educated as it relates to the qualifications that we were looking for, and was already doing the job, but for a number of reasons was not selected. I don't know Raina. I've never seen Raina before. Of course, when I read her resume, I thought it was good. It was a very good resume. I look at resumes all the time, so I agree with the rest of my colleagues that it was a very good resume. But in the spirit of solidarity and working in unity with the rest of my council members, again, like I said, I don't know Raina. I've never seen her. Doing her interview on Wednesday night was my first time ever laying eyes on her. So again, in the spirit of working with my council colleagues, I decided to sign on as a co-sponsor, and I am looking towards my council members and believing that they know and they are sure about this particular candidate. And again, like I said, I read the resume. It was a very nice resume. And Ms. Raina came across very nice, very polite, and very professional. And again, even though I don't know her, I never seen her before, I am looking forward to working with her. And I want to say welcome to the team. And I am looking forward to getting to know her. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Harley. Let me make sure I'm not missing any.
Maria, I can't raise my hand here.
Councilwoman.
Sorry. Yeah. Well, I just want to say, I mean, I've known Raina for so long, and when she first had her job in the Commerce Department with the City of Wilmington, a long time ago, when Mayor Sills was Mayor Sills and I was working in cultural affairs. So I do have some background working with Raina, and she has definitely, you know, got the education. She's done the work. She's worked with a lot of different community organizations and the Urban League as one of the founding members of the Urban League. We work very close together. And then we share an affinity and love for someone that has mentored and has definitely set history in our nation with some of the things that he did and advocated for civil rights and for fair housing. And that would be Mr. Gilliam Sr. So on quite many Sunday nights, Raina, her children, and her husband, we would all be there visiting Mr. Gilliam. So I know her heart. I know her father, Dr. Harper, we were on a founding board of the Delaware Futures many years ago when that organization was started. So she was a wee teenager back in the day, and until her days with the Commerce Department. So welcome, Raina. I just want to say we did have highly qualified candidates. It was not an easy decision because there's people that are so dedicated and love the city. As you know, Councilwoman Harley mentioned, there was people there that have done the time. And when it comes down to the fact is, Ms. Harper, she does not just have the resume, she's done the work. She's got the respect of the community, and I'm looking forward to her working with all our council members and with us. And we'll see that she's a good apple and that it'll really enhance our council session. So thank you so much. I want to be a co-sponsor.
Thank you. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right. Just want to one more time before. Just make sure I'm not missing anyone. I just also want to congratulate Raina. Looking forward to working with you. Your resume is outstanding. Your interview was off the charts. I'm highly recommended from so many different council members, from so many people in the community. You've already been doing the work. I love your vision and the direction that where you have gone in the past regarding the City of Wilmington. It really aligns with my vision and our vision as the 108th session. So looking forward to working with you. And thank you for making yourself available. I'm going to ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Councilwoman Gray.
Yes.
Councilwoman Darby.
Yes.
Councilwoman Oliver.
Yes.
Councilwoman Harley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Fields.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCoy.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Field.
Yes.
Councilwoman Cabrera.
Yes. Yes.
Councilwoman Dixon.
Yes.
Councilman Spadola. Councilman Spadola.
Yes.
Councilwoman Walsh.
Yes.
President Congo.
Yes.
13 yeas.
I declare it adopted. Councilmember Walsh.
No legislation this evening, thank you.
All right, thank you. At this time, we will move to our petitions and communication. And we're going to begin with Councilmember Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say something about the speakers tonight, because I think up until this point, we've only heard one side of a story that seems to be getting a whole body of its own on social media. Some of it true, some of it not. But it amazes me how brave people can be on social media and how they can accuse people of doing things that they haven't done, or make statements about people that they would not have the guts to make to one's own face. And so one of the speakers tonight said, shameful here for everything that happened on January 5th. And I really believe up until now, we've only heard one side of what happened on January 5th. It may have looked like the seven, as everybody likes to call them, were somewhat running over people, but we weren't. Mr. President, we met with you. We told you what we were going to do. Shouldn't have been any surprise to you as to what was going on. We met with you as a whole group, and some of us met with you privately or with one or two other people. The resolutions that were being presented were actually ready and being presented close to a week before the meeting was held, as opposed to the resolutions that were not passed that we got less than 2 hours before the meeting. And that's what I like when everybody's telling this story about how this got rammed through and all the other things that we're getting accused of doing that was not done in the darkness of night. There was very much light about what we were doing. Nobody has ever showed me anything. We heard about all these plans that, you know, you had a committee working and could have come forth with these plans at any time. Nobody saw plans, nobody saw resolutions, nobody saw anything. So I don't think anybody that night was disrespectful of anyone else. There was no name calling. There was no unnecessary chatter. There was no going back to what happened before on the part of the seven I'm talking to. And I thought it was a very, very clean meeting as far as what we, as one of the seven, gave towards that meeting. If we want to revisit this for every single meeting we're going to have for the next 4 years, it's going to be a long 4 years, a whole long 4 years. But the point of these meetings is to get the government's business done. It's not to have a Channel 22 show or a Channel 28 show. It is an official government meeting. And I think that's something we need to get used to. People have all sorts of ways that they can communicate with us, including committee meetings, where, you know, people don't have to come out of their houses anymore. They can just sit in their house and they can click on and be right there at a committee meeting and sign up and ask to speak at that also. So I just hope we stop some of the nonsense and face the truth, but I guess the truth as we know it can be 5 different ways with 2 different people. So that's all. Thank you. I'm finished, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Spadola.
Thank you, Mr. Congo. Good evening, everybody. Just want to say, I think, you know, there's always going to be some simmering tension beneath the surface. My nature, I'm always an optimist. I focus on the positive, and you know, I think tonight was great how we had 2 13-0 votes for really major hires. And also, if we go back to January 5th, the other slate of hires was 10-3. So you know, the headlines and the chatter might be disunity and fighting, but you know, on the staff hires so far, we've been essentially lockstep. So you know, I think that's, you know, to me, that's a sign of how things could be. So I just I hope we can you know, focus on that and continue to move forward and focus on the major hurdles that the city has, because that's why the voters put us here. So looking forward to working with everybody, and yeah, I'm very easily reached as well. Feel free to email, call. Always happy to chat, and thank you for the time, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilmember Spadola. Councilmember Dixon.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to say, again, thank you to the residents who stuck with us and waited their time patiently for this evening in order to do public comment. Also, just wanted to say great job to everyone in the city who helped out with Martin Luther King Day of cleanups to peace marches. The work is never done, and we continue to make sure that service to our communities is at the forefront of our minds, and that the community, again, is at the forefront of how we make our decisions, regardless of what's going on in-house. So I think tonight, hopefully we can start to think about, how we're doing public comment and others that have meaningful to the community who all voted and elected us in. So with that is all my comments for this evening. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilmember Dixon. Councilmember Cabrera.
I am here. I am here. Yes, I just want to say again, thank you to the residents of Wilmington for getting involved in the political process, for engaging, and thank you again for your vote. So I do want to address the comments about public comment. And I know a lot of those people who commented, fine ladies, work with them. And, being elected to office, people are going to be critical, whether they have all the facts or not. So I would always welcome people to pick up the phone, call, reach out. There's different views, there's different opinions, and everybody is entitled to them, and we respect them. But get all the facts too, because you can't just say something is one way when you look at it that way without looking at it from a different angle. And as already been mentioned by my colleagues, we want a spirit of inclusiveness. Mr. President, you have stated very clearly you want this council to be united regardless. You've even said that on the day of the inauguration, you were maybe not happy with the results, but it was a democracy. Democracy took place. Let's move on. Let's not hold that. Let's not define the rest of the next 4 years, because at this point, it's about working with you. So a couple things that were mentioned. You've already reached out to us about some of the concerns. So I believe that the public comment does need to be revisited. The way that is written does sound exclusive. So we either go back to the way that it was. And I remember when we served on council 8 years ago, people came early, they signed up, they had 3 minutes. I always felt that was exclusive, because I felt that the seniors sitting at home weren't able to get their voice just because they had a physical impediment that would keep them from arriving to City Hall to sign up for that list. It was always the same people. It's not like other people had voices. So I really believe in it being inclusive. So yes, I think we need to revisit that and make an amendment to that council rule. And as you stated, and I want everyone that commented here tonight to know that not everything is written in stone. A lot of what was introduced at that inauguration meeting is in the charter already. It just wasn't being done previously. And Mr. President had the insight and the foresight when he sat on the 107th Council to say, this is not inclusive. Our voices are not being heard. So that's what was included in the rules, verbatim, literally. And he will agree and say that to you. So, I hope that moving forward, these dialogues continue. Criticism is good and conflict is good, because it gives us an opportunity to overcome that conflict. So again, I will state, I am very much committed to the president. Whether I will always agree with him or vote on his resolutions or my other council members, it's no disrespect to them. We all have our opinions, and we were voted in by the greater whole of Wilmington. So we will work together. We will make the necessary amendments to those council rules. The inclusiveness will be there, so that all your voices are heard. And we will revisit all of it if need be. But the president has already addressed some things that he wants us to look at. And those, you can count on those changes in the future. And last but not least, I will say to my Latina colleagues, love you to pieces. And I'm glad that we can celebrate that history was being made. But please don't ever, ever think for 1 minute that I am a token Hispanic on any place that I go to, because I have earned my right in this community, which was demonstrated when I won my vote citywide. So if I was chosen as President Pro Tem and voted in as President Pro Tem, a position that I didn't even want, it's not because I was entitled or to make history. I am certainly very qualified very qualified. And there's no nepotism involved in me being in that position. So I am very gracious to accept that role. And if I at some point feel that I cannot do it, I may say to my council colleague, Mr. Harley, you may have it. You can do it. We can do this together. So all I'm saying is thank you. I'm grateful, but I am here and I've earned the right to be here. So please don't forget that either. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Cabrera. Councilman Field.
I have no comments to add. I just want to second the comments of the last four speakers. And I look forward to working with everybody. That's all.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Field. Councilman Johnson.
Good evening, everyone. First off, I just want to start with, again, the work as to why we're here. So there is a 4th Street Civic Association meeting this upcoming Wednesday, January 27th at 6:30 p.m. You can attend that virtually. As everyone knows, I'm always there, and I invite the entire community to talk about all the exciting changes we're making on the West Side. And again, shouts out to the whole West Side crew and our local state officials who helped with the march and the celebration community. Just personally, I wish I actually could have been there, but unfortunately I had a COVID scare myself and was in self-quarantine, so I was not able to attend. But that just goes back to the reason as to why we are here. And we are here to serve the community. And anyone, I don't want to belabor the fact, but we really need to turn a new page. And unfortunately, we hear comments about turning the page, but you know, I know, you know, sometimes old sentiments die hard. And so we have a little bit of that, but I promise you as a council, we are working. Council President Congo and I have been in meetings this week, just separate meetings, you know, planning and looking at the finances of the city. And really figuring out how we're going to overcome some of the gaps we may have in revenue. These are the serious issues that confront us. And make no mistake, this is what I'm focused on every day. And that's why I have such an impeccable record and support throughout Wilmington in the state, because people know at the end of the day, I step up and I get work done. And that's what we're here for. We're not here to talk. We're not here to, you know, grandstand. We are here to do the work of the people, look at the finances, do the backroom stuff to move our city forward. And as my colleague, Councilmember Cabrera says, we need to make changes to public comments. Everyone knows that, especially me, I'm someone that sits at the table. I sit and do draft, look at legislation. That's work. We can always make it better. But make no mistake, this is a place of public business. And this is not a circus. If someone wants to meet me on the street and talk, that's different. But this is a place of business, and that we have to run a government. We're going to have a lot of important financial matters, contracts, looking at going to the bond market for certain things. This is what we're here for. And that is, in terms of public comment, we certainly have to be inclusive, but we still need to conduct the city business, because some of the feedback that we received, a lot of members, is that people couldn't stay online because meetings were going to midnight, 11 p.m. That is all we're here, is a sense of decorum, and we can move the city forward. We're going to figure out better ways to be more inclusive, but it is time. I have to clear up misinformation, because again, we're all here for the same reason. And this is a new council. Council President Congo and I have worked really well together in the past, and we continue to work well as he works well for all of us. So I have faith in Council President Congo that he is leading us in the right direction. And I think it's off to a great start. So I know some of the old stuff is simmering, but I look forward to turning a new page. Let's get forward, look forward to the work we have to do ahead in 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Johnson. Councilwoman McCoy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I did want to share just one piece of sad news. One of our colleagues, one of our former colleagues, Councilman Joseph S. Zawinski. He did pass away recently. He was the 6th District City Council person. I actually was not in Wilmington at the time that he was our council person, but we just want to make certain that we keep Councilman Zawinski's family and friends in our prayers. He did serve the city, and he served it, he served it, I guess, well, because he got more than one term. So I just want to make certain that people were aware. And I just want to thank Councilman, our former council person and our director, Kevin Kelly, for making me aware of this. My other statement I just wanted to make is I do understand, I've heard the statements that my colleagues have made previous to me. I understand. I too would like to see definitely a calmer council. Just want to make certain that we get business done. One of the things I do want to make certain that people are aware is that we actually need to make sure we have patience, because although we were elected to have council and to be part of council, they may not understand decorum when they need to get their voices heard. A lot of things have happened here in the city, and they felt as though I did my due diligence and I voted, and maybe things didn't come out the way that they thought that they would on our inauguration night. So, and on top of that, they never got a chance to really voice their opinions. So maybe now that they have, moving forward, we'll finally get a chance to settle things down. I am glad that we will be addressing the public comment piece. I definitely look forward. Most of the people that I was really taking interest in when it comes to public comment were actually not all the residents, but the professionals that actually brought forth data-driven information and let us know about certain things that were coming down the pipeline and how they either supported or actually did not agree with some of the legislation. So of course the residents want to let us know how they feel, but it's always great to have some data behind that information. So I am glad that we will be making changes to the public comment. I'm thankful for the people who waited online to make certain that they got a chance to speak. Moving forward, we're going to do what we need to do for 108. I am very much interested in making certain the City of Wilmington, as it has this spotlight now, make certain that we look like we're moving as a cohesive group, like we're working together. So I look forward to February, the next council meeting. We'll see how everything goes. Yeah, so you all have a great evening. I have nothing else, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman McCoy. Councilwoman Fields.
Good evening, and thank you, Council President. First of all, I'd just like to say thank you to all my colleagues here on City Council. One of the residents of the City of Wilmington, she said that she would like to put it in an atmosphere that that we all work together, and I think that is key. Putting it in an atmosphere, any positivity that we as a council, as a body, could put in the atmosphere is going to be beneficial. So what you put out is what you get. So I'm just going to say, if we put out that we're going to work together and there is no divide, then that's what we're going to get. We're going to get the inclusiveness. We're going to get us working together as one, not for the power for ourselves, but for the power of the people. And that's the only way that we're going to be able to move our city forward. So with saying that, I just want to say, the past is the past. And yes, that there's pieces of legislation that has the opportunity to be amended. And I did hear the voice of my constituent. I heard the voice of other constituents and people that didn't live in the city. So yes, that does matter. And I do appreciate that. And I thank you for bringing that to the forefront. And that's what it's all about. It's about democracy. But I did want to say, someone definitely spoke on 777. Okay, the 7 is, it's not just one by the 7. You never know exactly how things are going to go. Like tonight, we had 13 back to back. No questions answered, no questions asked, no questions answered, just 13. So there is room for inclusiveness. There is room to working together. And I see that. And I'm calling on that. And I'm just praying that everyone sees that throughout the city of Wilmington, and work with your council person to do that. I think to communicate is to educate. And I think we should ultimately educate our residents in the city of Wilmington what we on city council actually do, what we're here to do. And that is to pass legislation that's going to benefit those in the city of Wilmington. And I think that's key. We have community civic associations. We have community meetings. Some council members, they have their own meetings. And this is the way that we communicate what's going on. And that allows our residents to have the voice there. If they choose not to speak there, they also have the opportunity to attend the committee meetings to where that legislation is being placed. And they have the opportunity to voice their opinion there and to voice, their concerns, whether they like it or they don't. And then they can reach out to those on the committee or their council person and definitely say their dislikes and likes. And, have that conversation. I think having that conversation with your council person, I think is very beneficial to you and to the city and to the council person, because we are here for you. You put us in these seats. So that's important. And then, like you said, when it comes down to business, it's time for us to pass legislation. And that legislation, whatever we pass and however we pass it, it is to benefit the residents of the city of Wilmington. So, I really look forward to working with the council members. I look forward to working with the different department heads, just to move the city forward. We can't keep looking backwards if we're going to try to move forward. And there's no way we can do that if we keep revisiting the same thing. So I'm just hoping that everyone on this call tonight and moving forward, look at us really focusing on what's going on. We're still in a pandemic. We still have gun violence. We still have homelessness. We still have housing issues. We still have food issues. Let's focus on those things. And if we do that collaboratively, everything else will fall by the wayside, because our city is looking at us, and this is important. So again, Council President, I appreciate you allowing me to have this time. I appreciate you allowing me to have this time to talk to my constituents and to the city of Wilmington. So again, I'm not far away. All my information is on the website, and all the civic association meetings will be updated on the city council website concerning my district. So again, any questions, any concerns, please feel free to email me, call the office, because I do get my messages. Thank you all. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilwoman Fields. Councilwoman Harley.
Thank you, Council President, and good evening, everyone. Once again, I just want to say to all of my constituents, as you know, you have my number. You can continue to call me. I answer my phone. You can call me on my cell phone. You can email me, and whatever issues you may have or concerns, I'm just asking that you continue to reach out if you have any questions. I am always available, my cell phone, or you can email me. I also want to mention that in our last budget cycle, City Council, along with my recommendation, we were able to give the Wilmington Public Library a grant. And I just want to say that, we all are dealing with COVID and it's affecting everyone in different ways. But the Wilmington Public Library, they have been doing a phenomenal job with offering a lot of great programs for the city of Wilmington. And so I just want to encourage everyone to go to their Facebook page. Again, the Wilmington Public Library, they have a myriad of programs that they have been offering since the fall that I can recall. Every month, they are sharing with the public what they have to offer. So they have a number of children, for men, for women. As a matter of fact, right now they're doing a weekly coaching for women, where women can call in on a Zoom call. They actually have a coach for women to help get organized, which I thought was great. But of course, I couldn't participate because I have counsel on Thursdays, but it's a great program. So I just wanted to encourage everyone to go to the Wilmington Public Library's Facebook page and check out the programs that they are offering. And then lastly, I just want to say, again, congratulations to our hometown president, Joe Biden, and congratulations to our new Vice President, Kamala Harris. And I'm really looking forward to the city of Wilmington, the state of Delaware, just great things happening, not only for Delaware, but for America. And as I shared earlier when I came on the call, I'm still excited from yesterday, the excitement, the energy, the enthusiasm, the hope, all of it. I'm there, I'm here for it. And I am believing that not only will we be experiencing new, greater, better, and stronger things happening for our country, but I'm believing that for us locally as well. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman Harley. Councilwoman Oliver.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to give my condolence to our Deputy Clerk, Mary Bell, who lost her brother. So I'd like to give my condolence to her. I did speak to her on the phone. Another thing I would like to say, I am available. You can call up to city office, call my cell phone. You call the city, I'm always going to get a message from there. Sometime you may call my cell phone. I may not be able to answer because maybe I'm in meetings or I have some other activities that's going on concerning the 3rd District. But as one of my coworkers said, if you call at 576-2140, 100%, I will get my messages. And another thing I like to say, so everybody out there don't get a misunderstanding, we can agree to disagree. Right after the meeting inauguration, and nobody knows this, me and Trippy went out to breakfast at 8 o'clock in the morning. We had breakfast at 8 o'clock. It wasn't nobody's business that we had breakfast at 8 o'clock, but it just goes to show you, I mean, in the spirit of it all, everybody got elected. Everybody has their own opinions. Everybody could do what they want to do with their districts or however they handle things, but it's nowhere in the world do you think we're enemies here. I mean, I go out with quite a few, I call around, I reach out to my council members when I can. I still owe Yolanda some stuff is still sitting here. I know she thinks I'm crazy, but I'll be calling you tomorrow to drop it off. But I don't want the narrative out there that, it's us against this and that. We all get along just fine. So just because, I mean, and I have to reiterate what Councilman Hardy said. I mean, I'm just still excited about what occurred yesterday in our nation. And, it wasn't a dry tear in my house. I mean, we had a Zoom call. I haven't posted the pictures. I had about 15 of us. We all had T-shirts on and took pictures and everything. So it just goes to show you it's democracy. I mean, after what happened at the White House, but yesterday it just overshadowed it, that it's some good things going on. And as all the council members have stated tonight, we may disagree on this vote or that vote, but when it's over with, let's just move on. That's the only way we're gonna move the city forward. And I'm just looking forward to working with everybody. I mean, and maybe because of 4U, we can't, and because of COVID, but it doesn't mean we can't just have a general Zoom call with all of us just to maybe discuss some things. That may be a suggestion to talk to the president about. But our president, Trippy Congo, we all get along. I mean, we go back, you have known me how far we go back. So it's no way that you would think that we are ever going to be enemies, because this job does not define me. This job lasts for 4 years, 8 years. People move on and people move on with their lives. But this job does not define me. I hope when this is over with, we can all continue to be friends. And I can't stress that enough. And one of the, during the Martin Luther King event, that came across the TV, and I wrote it down in one of the posters, that they said he said, or somebody said during that revolution in 1965, we can all work together or we can thirst together. And when I saw that, I said, wow, that is deep. Whoever said that, that is really deep. And they were showing how, it wasn't just Black people out there. It was white people out there, Hispanic. They was working together for a cause like they did at the White House. You see all them people, them past presidents, Republicans and Democrats came together. And I stress it all the time. This job does not define me. I love working with the 3rd District. I love working with the constituents out throughout the city. I get along with whoever gets along with me. And the ones who don't get along with me, I pray for them. But other than that, God bless you all. And thank you, Mr. President, and keep up the good job. I mean, it's still early. We have a lot of work to do throughout the city. We're just trying to get our feet wet. And as Chris said, next week, we're trying to sit down and do some legislation. I mean, we can sit here and just argue all day or whatever, but I mean, I'm not arguing with nobody. But I just think, as Councilman Harley said, and I think everybody's same sentiment tonight, this is our city and we need to just work forward. There's so many other things that's going on out here that we can't even get involved with. As Michelle, I want to work with Harley with her thing that she has going on. I like that, to work with the different, to join with your committee, that event. I wrote that down. I spoke to Chris about that. We said we want to talk to you about that. I love that committee concept. And I do have some other people that's involved that I talked to, civic associations. I was able to rent a building and meet with some of the block captains. It was 3 at 12 o'clock, 3 at 3 o'clock. So it's some things we're trying to do. We're just trying to talk to people. And because of COVID, it's hard to really get people together. And just to put it as simple as that, and I'm not going to hold up the time, but thank you all. Thanks a lot, Trippy. President Congo, thanks again.
Thank you, Councilwoman Oliver. Councilwoman Darby. Councilwoman Darby.
You hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, no, I said I'm good, Mr. President. Oh, we were talking, right?
Did you have any petitions or communication?
No, I don't have anything, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Gray.
President, first I'd like to congratulate Dr. Tony Allen, our Dr. Tony Allen, for everything he had to do to make the inauguration yesterday a success. It was a wonderful event. I'd also like to congratulate our new president, Biden, and our new vice president, Harris, who went to my alma mater, or I went to her alma mater. I think I went there first, but I'd like to congratulate all of them. But to bring it down a little bit, a lot of people have said a lot of things before me, and I'm definitely one that would like to work with everyone. We're never going to vote the same way or think the same way. And I'm a trained mediator. Besides, I was a judge, a magistrate, but I have to get something straight here. One of our councilwomen initially said, stop this nonsense. It's not nonsense when the city of Wilmington collectively votes overwhelmingly to elect President Congo for his vision, whatever he campaigned on. They elected him for that. And then for us to get into inauguration and have Councilman Johnson and Councilman Walsh put forth an agenda and a chief of staff and a pro temp that's totally different from the elected president. I understand we have to move on and we can't dwell on this, but I thank Chandra Pitts and Ms. Colon for bringing it to the attention of the rest of the public. And I think that our constituents and the public need to come on to public comment or contact your councilman and express your opinion. If your councilman is one of the ones that voted against President Congo's initiatives coming in he didn't even have an opportunity to work on them or to even present them. If your council person was one of the persons that voted against them and you voted for President Congo, please contact them, give them your opinion, talk to them. We're going forward to vote on other things, but there's several people that came back that in 107 voted against us on everything. And now they're here and they started out divisive, trying to divide council. We had a transition team. President Congo had a transition team. We went into the transition team. We discussed committees, we discussed things. And then all of a sudden, like they said, a couple days later, we have a totally different set of rules and totally different staff members for chief of staff and pro temp. Now, Councilwoman Walsh said they met. 7 meeting is a violation of FOIA. We met with the transition team. When did they get together with their 7 to discuss what they were going to do? These are all questions. We weren't part of that. I was never asked, and other people said last time they weren't asked about their skills and what their likes were. So yes, we do have to move on. We do have to work together, but I truly believe the public coming on and expressing their opinion about what happened and how they feel that they want us to work together did a lot to make the vote tonight cohesive, did a lot to make people agree. So I invite the public to continue to voice your opinions about us working together. And the public comment was my resolution. And my understanding, maybe we need a legal opinion, but rules cannot override a resolution. So it should go back into the agenda the way the resolution reads. It didn't tonight, but it should. And we'll change the time, hopefully we'll amend it. But another thing that's in the rules that people may not realize that was put in there by Mr. Johnson is it takes 2/3 of a vote to change. So it's not just that easy. It's not just, well, vote again on the rules. We need 2/3 of council to vote to change the rules. There's also things in there, like I said, Chief of Staff pro temp. There are a lot of other committees that aren't listed that you aren't aware of, that the power of the president was taken away from him to appoint people to those committees. And unfortunately, the committees have council members on them that were appointed by the previous president. And since this new council coming in has voted that it has to have a majority to change it, the same person is going to be on these other committees. So there's a lot going on in the background, and we're trying to work together, and the president's trying to amend, but I'm pointing out it takes 2/3. So we'll see how they vote when we try to amend some of these rules that are totally restrictive to the president that you elected. Okay, so that's all I have to say, and I hope that we can go forward and work together, collaborate, discuss things. And I totally disagree with Mr. Johnson's conversation that he discusses things with people and he reaches out. I'm sorry. I'm just one. I'm just giving my opinion. But yes, I hope we go forward and work together. So I hope everyone has a good night. And I totally, please, public, give your opinion. Contact your council person, just like everyone else has asked you, and give them your opinion. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Councilwoman Gray. First, I just want to thank the community for your engagement this evening in one of our first meetings.
Council President.
Yes, Councilmember Walsh.
Excuse me, because I don't want to interrupt you once you start rolling. If I may, I did put my hand up too. The 7, as we're called, did not meet illegally. All 7 were not sworn in yet as council members when we met. So we were not breaking any rules of the law at all. And the council rules were passed by a resolution. So they did become part of the law. And that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman. Again, I just want to thank the community for your engagement this evening. This is why we're here. This is why I'm here. And if our meetings are 2 and 3 and 4 hours long every other Thursday, then as long as we're giving you the opportunity to voice your opinion, that's what it is. This is what we signed up for. I would find it hard to believe that anyone who was elected, any of our council members, would have advocated for silencing or almost mitigating the community's voice during their election. So we certainly should not do that now. And it's funny how the community is only allowed 3 minutes to speak, but the council members are allowed 5 minutes to speak. So I do think that we have to take a serious look at that. We should be doing more listening than talking. So again, community, thank you so much. Please continue to stay engaged. Please do not be frustrated by what you may have heard this evening. We are going to definitely continue to engage you and listen to you, and we will follow your marching orders. Yeah, I do agree with Councilwoman Walsh. Those meetings that I was present, they were not, no, FOIA was not violated, so I don't want that to be put out in the atmosphere. I'm not sure what happened when I wasn't there, But again, in those meetings, there were negotiations. Those negotiations were something that I did not want to adhere to. And I knew inauguration, what happened on inauguration, I knew that was going to happen probably a month beforehand. But I'm not one to compromise when I think that I'm doing the right thing. And I think that's what the community is most concerned with. It wasn't about me that night during inauguration. It was more about what I have represented during my 12 years on council. And that's always been a voice of checks and balances for the administration. So I think that's their concern. And not saying that I'm the only person who advocates for checks and balances, but being the president, I think that's what they felt was being attacked, just our system of checks and balances. So that's the concern. It wasn't about me. It was about what could happen potentially as we move forward governing our city. So community, I just want you to stay engaged. I cannot stress that enough, how thankful I am. And that's the biggest thing. We are going to address the rules quickly, because I think that we cannot put parameters around. I mean, we do have to have some parameters around it, but we cannot even attempt to begin to silence those who we represent and those who put us here and those who pay us. So again, if we have long meetings, we're just going to have long meetings. I'm not going to silence the community who has supported me my whole life. And again, I think that's where a lot of that concern is coming from, just who I have, how I've been raised in this community, and how I have participated in council. I think that's what they feel has been threatened. But thinking positively, I hope that we all can continue to work together and begin to work together, and we will do great things that no other session of council has ever done. I want to reinvent our city, and it's going to take all 13 of us to do that. It's going to take the community to do that. It's going to take all of us together. So council, I look forward to working with you. Community, I look forward to listening to you, and God bless us all. And with that, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Move.
It's been properly moved to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Night.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion.
No one.
Good night, y'all.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.
Good night.